me just doing that. And then Mike can sort that shit out when he gets access to the file. So, last we left off, it was the culmination of Anastasia's prayer. Oh no, was that the one before? That slipped my mind. So actually, Sia had her sermon, which went very well. You guys sort of introduced yourselves amongst with your newest companion, Evander, an undead karate gear looking guy who is only able to speak through writing on parchment. There, you guys found out that within the sort of storage holes of the ship, that the special herbs were down there, which were in conjunction being used to sort of meddle with the drinks of the ship, affecting the crew and yourselves if you guys were ever, especially Sia, in regards to drinking the tea prepared by both Anastasia, more specifically, and maybe the captain as well. Thanks to Ezekiel, one of the herbs was purified. But you guys find out that the consequence of that is that the herbs were being used as a sort of medicine for the captain, who turns out to be who you find out that he has had a deal stricken with a devil from the abyss in relation to his heart, and that if he does not take essentially the medicine that Anastasia prepares, he will die, basically. And the only reason you guys find out about that is because sort of the day after, Ezekiel uses his paladinic powers to sense if there's anything malign on the ship, finding out that there is a fiend within the ship, but Evander is sent to go suss it out. But he takes that as a sort of search and destroy mission, for which he does. But the following day, when Ezekiel pings again, it's a case of, oh, there's now two fiends, and that Anastasia does not give off Fae, which people thought she might have been. The group susses out that there is a large steel door at the front of the ship, and that behind there is a fiend sort of strung up in a sort of like canvas, and there is wood woven through his being into the ship itself. A large, monstrous, meaty, muscly, green, demon-looking creature. But it's sort of put to the side as sort of the main event that is happening that night is Sia's new sermon giving. So while Sia does her sermon and everybody attends, Finch decides to go off and search for any sort of other herbs or anything that hasn't been used for the captain, because he uses his sight to see the captain's future, and he sees the captain dead in an alleyway. Sia has her sermon. It goes very well. Everyone is drinking from the purified water, or the holy water, within the ship. And to sort of the visual annoyance of Anastasia, Sia does a wonderful job. She converts a bunch more people who become true believers to the cause. And the captain is, as always, happy to be in and around and just free giving with his emotions. But Ezekiel pushes certain points to what I think is a sort of like a fuck you in a way, a slight, which the captain pushes back on aggressively. And while that happens, Finch goes off to suss around the ship, unable to find anything that he is after, goes into the captain's quarters, susses out all the paperwork, the fact that there is a hidden section in their bedroom that contains a large golden chest, and the sort of information that he is able to grab outside of what might have been the chest is that the ship, or at least this class of battle barge, is fueled by demon essence. Demons imbued within the ship itself, which need to be fueled, and that fuel being people. That the sort of captain feeds the engine at various intervals, various crew members of the ship, and only upon docking are new members recruited. Sort of not wanting to push too much on the golden chest, everything is resorted back to the way it was originally found. He makes his way towards the front of the ship where the door is. He knocks with the latch. The door opens, and we arrive where we have left off, with Finch facing this green monstrosity as it lifts its head up and notices his, at least physically notices his presence.
Excellent. I'm not gonna lie. I had a reason for coming down here, and since then I can't remember what that reason was. I think can't find my pen. Is that it? I'll get out of the way, Starscream, you bloody animal. It's not even. It's not even my good one. Bloody hell. Where'd the other two go? I think the reason I've come down here is because his affliction, the captain's affliction, is specifically demonic in nature. I think I worked it because fiend means either demon or devil, and they're not quite the same thing. But I think Anastasia did tell me it was demonic in nature and not devil shit.
Correct.
So if there is a devil in the ship, I believe I came down here to ask him about the affliction and if there was something that it knew that could be done. I think that was what I was down here for. But being that it is a demon, it is by default a piece of shit. So I do not think I'm going to be wholly honest about that. Uh, it lifts its head and what did it say?
It didn't say anything.
Oh, last session I thought it said something to me. Um, I may need your help. And I'll take a step towards the door, but not quite walk through it.
It looks up, and where once there was no sort of mouth, a slit opens up, revealing sort of a toothless gaping maw. And you sort of, it doesn't move to articulate the words, but words still escape its mouth nonetheless. You must release me. Please. I am in so much pain.
I have been told that you require fuel. What is it that you take?
I I take nothing. I don't know where I am or why I am stuck here. Please, destroy the canvas that I'm in. Set me free, please.
Do you eat people?
Why? Why would I do that? That's disgusting.
Corpses?
I've never eaten a corpse in my life.
Where are you from?
Abrax.
And where is that?
My home. I don't even know where I am.
When were you put in this canvas?
Recently? I can only imagine. It's before. Please, help me.
How were you put in the canvas?
I don't know. I can't move. And his whole body just starts to like flex, and his muscles sort of like bulge, like a super, like going from base to Super Saiyan 2, sort of fucking just
Mm.
before it sort of the canvas sort of like looks like it becomes tight, and he's like form shrinks a little bit.
What do you remember right before you ended up here?
I was with my family.
Where? Doing what?
In Atraxia. We were going shopping.
In a town?
Yes. I turned to my wife, and then all of a sudden I was here, unable to move.
What is it you do in this room?
I I don't know.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Ooh! And I did update my shrewd investigator. I've got none. That is going to be 28.
All right. 28. You get that. There is mixes of honesty within his words. Which parts exactly is hard to tell. His Arcosian is heavily accented, and it's with another language that you're not sure of. It seems that he looks like, and the vibe you're getting off him is that he is indeed trapped where he is. That appears to be truthful.
Yes, I would say so. Uh, when people are brought in here, what happens to them?
I don't know. You're the second person that's ever been here, as far as I'm aware.
Is that true? uh, man, I don't want to spam insight checks, but that is that true? Is that true? Uh,
You would know that
hmm.
Sia has been inside that room as well.
Yes, I know he's referencing Sia being in there, but the second person ever, uh, you were seen with the captain of this ship a night ago.
I don't know who that is. I'm on a ship. What waters are we on?
We're not on any waters.
Well, that's impossible. Ships only go on water.
You are a demon.
No.
So you understand that I don't trust half of what you are telling me.
Why would I need to lie? I am trapped here. I am only asking to be free, like you are free, untainted, unimpeded. I don't know where I am, how I became in this place, but if you can free me, I promise you, I will owe you a great boon.
Sounds like the foundation of a deal.
I, if that is what you wish, we can strike out some sort of accord.
There is a person aboard this ship afflicted with a condition of demonic nature. If you are able to help, there is no cure as far as I'm aware, so I'm not asking for one. I am asking for time before he expires. More time than what he has now.
I
If you are able to help with that.
would need to see him. I would need to him to explain to me what exactly his affliction is. And then once I am free, I know others that would be able to help.
Who?
Well, my father, for starters. He's a great
He was.
warlock.
He's a warlock.
Yes.
I'm not sure that's going to help.
Well, my father helped me, as you can see. Obviously, not that he's not the reason I'm stuck in this condition, but he is the reason that I look the way that I am. I was born feeble and sick, but through my father's means, on a good day, strong. In the ways of magic, I know none but him.
I still don't think that helps us. He's a warlock. He has a connection to greater power.
Well, he has a connection to greater magic, of the arts of the body and the mind. If this fellow that you speak of has a condition, my father can help. I need only be free so that I may call him. I must do the inscriptions on the floor to summon him, or at the very least send a message.
So you know magic also.
I know some.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Specifically, I just want to see if he's like downplaying, sort of how in sort of like a leveraging way, sort of downplaying sort of what he does actually know. What's that bonus I get for Ear of Deceit? That's for sevens. Fuck. That's just gonna be 19.
19. Um, the whole thing feels like a big downplay.
Mm.
Not just how little magic he thinks he knows. The whole story feels like a downplay.
Uh, well, I'm not sure that I was going to go here, but I'm not sure you're understanding how desperate I am right now.
I can sense.
Please, please drop this mask so that we may speak frankly and so that we are both on the same page with expectation.
The frankness is that I am stuck within this contraption.
Oh, I know. You're in a room you don't want to be in, and you're not leaving it. Therefore, you are stuck. A child would understand that. Repeating it does not build a character of honesty. You are just merely stating the obvious over and over again.
This is something obvious, is that you appear to be very short on time. Time that I can increase, I can help you with, if you let me out of my prison.
There is no way that that is happening
Then I cannot help you.
before I understand what you will be doing.
You wouldn't understand anyway, my small friend, for the magic that I would cast is beyond your comprehension.
Mr. Canvas Demon, I was talking to God 3 days ago, so, just maybe can it with the whole fucking. Oh, I do magic that's insane, okay?
Do you
It,
know
it,
how
it, it
little
doesn't
that
move the
narrows it down?
negotiation forward.
Which god have you been speaking to? There's throw a stone and you hit one.
My God, the one guy. uh, listen, it doesn't matter. I just don't want to hear that anymore. Magic beyond your comprehension, plans beyond your comprehension. That doesn't matter to me. I want to know, what are you doing?
If it doesn't matter, then why don't you call your god that you spoke to 3 days ago and get them to fix it? Get them to work a miracle.
You know what? That sounds like a good idea if you would like me to close this door.
You'll be back.
I will?
I guarantee it. Like I can guarantee your captain's continued survival if you let me be free. If he is afflicted with something of time of relevance, I can increase that time. If he is in some sort of bargain, I can find that bargain, find the deal, for the deals contain loopholes, tricks, and misplaced wording. If someone is afflicted by a bad deal, it means that they did not read what was written within the contract. I will read what was missed.
All right. You're right. I will be back, and I'll close the door.
You step out, and before you close the door, the door closes automatically for you.
Oh, excellent. And I'll sort of fucking hands in pocket, fucking walk back to the where the sermon is happening.
Yeah, and you arrive basically just at the tail end of it. Most of the staff crew are um, making their way towards parts of the ship or back to the hammock sleeping area. Essentially, this being like close to midnight, so to speak. The day is coming to a close, or essentially has been closed. And that's the you catch up with Sia, Wessel, and Ezekiel, sort of just talking a little bit about what happened and how well Sia's performance was.
Uh, I want to go. Do I want to talk to Anastasia or do I want to talk to the captain?
You
Maybe I'll talk to the captain if I can catch up with him.
Yeah, him and Anastasia are still within the sort of refurbished mass room. They're at the back, still at their table, drinking.
Just walk up to their table and just be like, Captain.
While we want to do that, Sia, Wessel, what would you guys like to do?
Uh, I guess I'll go find the other two from before the sermon, and just to see if their answers may have changed or what their answers would be.
All right. Ezekiel is sort of going to, after just sort of that conversation that he's had with the captain, be like, it might not be best if I sort of stick around near him. I don't want to piss him off more than what I might have already done with my comments. He's going to go off to go prayer to the Queen of Cats, and then thinking that's going to be a bit late, he's going to head to bed. And then you, Mr. Matt.
The sermon's over, eh?
Correct. This is basically just after the end of last session.
Fuck. Just can't remember if I had any other shit on my notes.
As far as I'm aware of, it was basically the last thing of the day to do.
Fuck, I thought we woke up and then went to the sermon for some reason. I might do the same as Ezekiel, just without the prayer. I think Whistle would stuff his face and then yeah, he'll hop into bed.
Sounds good. You see that a bit after Ezekiel turns up, and then sort of standing in the corner in the dark ominously is Evander, just sort of watching people file into the room and head off to bed.
God, I forgot about that cunt.
Sia, you find Fusion and Raijin. They're sort of like talking to each other, and then Raijin goes, "We'll do it."
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. This isn't going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of pushback when trying to do these sermons, and of course, I can't pay you.
Well, we figured, Sia, that we couldn't be paid anyway. But I guess in a way that is something to look at a later time. We don't need to be paid now. A little bit into the future. And it's not even really about the money. I guess as long as we can figure out a way to get at least our basic needs met, we should be fine.
And I guess Sia will just spend the rest of the night discussing plans on what they should be doing in future sermons and going over that sort of stuff.
Excellent. And then we go back to Finch.
Yes.
You walk up. The captain has got another drink in his hand. You see Anastasia still has sort of like a dour expression on her face. She's sort of like unhappy, like an expression you would find as if like something has taken something of hers.
Well, I'll just sort of like Captain.
Yes, Finch. Well, how can I help you?
A quick word, if you don't mind.
He looks at his wife. She just shrugs and he goes, "I got time."
All right, and I'll just sort of, I don't know, walk towards the just general hall or something like that, and just be like, I just wanted to have a quick talk with you. I once I heard about your condition,
Ah, yes.
and ever since I confess I've been sort of scurrying about the ship all day, trying to find hints or clues as to how I might be able to help you before we arrive at our destination, the capital. Uh, I feel like you will need help before we get there, rather than betting on having the time to help you once we get there. Uh, so, a couple things might help me out. Uh, this condition, how did it start? Specifically, what started it?
Right. So, in my younger years, in a way to achieve an extra rank on the pool, I delved into the abyss in search of artifacts or treasure. You can either go the normal way into the abyss, which is going through the world below and then finding the rungs to the lowest levels. Or you can find someone that knows someone that'll let you skip a rung. And I found someone that knows someone that allows us to skip a rung. Said rung equated to a layer that of some person, demon, that I have never heard of. On hindsight, I should have done more information, or he might have screwed me. But the excursion didn't go well. And as a way to try and survive and leave, so I could at least get back to Anastasia, because I hadn't written a will yet, I made a deal with the devil. Oh, demon, sorry. I don't remember his name. His appearance was that of a newt at the time, but he allowed my survival in exchange for keeping something within my heart. And it wasn't until I was able to make it back to the overworld that it started to kick in and hurt. And if it wasn't thanks to Anastasia's quick thinking, with her concoctions, I would have been dead. At least I assume I would have been dead, because that's what it fucking felt like. Soon. Now, unlike with devils, demons don't really do contracts unless they get handed off to another plane. It's been a while since I remember the name, but you can normally do demons contracts verbally, which is always never good, unless you have the strength to combat it. Most of the time, if a demon feels like he wants a little bit more than just the cash out of your pocket, he'll contract it up, make it a sort of universal binding truth. Mine wasn't. Mine was verbal.
Did you figure out what it was that he had you keep within you?
No, I have not been able to figure that out, and after a couple of years, we stopped caring. We thought about making a trip back down, but the chances of finding this cunt, is hard. The abyss is an infinite madness, and who knows if we'd find a way to get to the layer that we want.
Okay. I have a couple of other things, but before I ask those things, can I just ask you to hold still?
Yeah.
And I want to use extracting aspects on him.
Yep.
I'm shooting for flavor here, because extracting aspects, what it does is I get to hit a creature with flurry of blows, or if they are willing, I don't have to hit them with flurry of blows. But what it does one thing, but that effect is irrelevant because we're not in combat. The other thing it does is that it allows me to essentially scan the creature, and how that is conveyed in combat is that I learn all damage vulnerabilities, weaknesses, resistances, immunities, condition immunities also. It does not let me like do a medi scan to find out if they have a limb missing. That's normally what it does, but it is extracting aspects. I am essentially punching like a chakra point to examine the creature, you know.
All right.
Just to see what I find.
Okay. He holds still, and he sort of lets you do what you want to do. You hit a point close to his heart that you know is not fatal, but still gives out a large chunk of information, or at least relevant to what you're hoping to get. And immediately you are concerned because he is vulnerable to everything right now. And there is greater pushback on the vulnerabilities of fire and psychic. There are things of arcane nature that you can sense that are worked, interwoven within the veins and the arteries surrounding the heart. And it beats off rhythm. But that's about as much as you can get.
Yeah. Well, I spoke to the demon engine
Oh yeah, how'd that
beneath. Well, it was unfruitful and as good as I thought it was going to be.
go? Oh, it sounds like great news.
Yes, so obviously he wishes for his freedom, but he was doing so much dancing around, in the conversation that I honestly did not even register as even a 1% chance of happening. At least not before I spoke to you about everything that I had up until this point. Um, do you have any of the herbs left? The ones that keep you alive, essentially?
No.
Not even one of the inert ones.
Well, we have the herb, yes. But it's not just the herb. It's a magical effect placed onto the herbs that does it. The herbs
Right.
act like the physical binding nature for the arcane.
So finding more of this herb would not help you.
Would not help.
Who do you normally get them from?
We have independent contacts with each of the major cities. And that, at least the last batch was supposed to last at least 6 months. We were hoping. But the last year, the amount that I've needed to consume, I'm sure you've seen how much I've been drinking and eating that contains it, has almost tripled in size.
One of these contacts at the capital?
Yes.
Has the ship fully recovered? Like, are we moving at full speed again, or are we still
We're moving
hindered?
at standard speed. And then he looks around, and he goes, "Look, Finch, honesty is something that I feel like we have established between us. A sort of strong familial bond that I could say. And I'd like to view you as a compatriot and maybe a friend. The engine of the ship needs to be fueled, and that fuel is souls. It is the drawback of the Class 1s. If we wish to get to Yingchuan faster, it has to be fueled with more souls than what it currently has. Right now, the ship can go 5 days on the standard speed that we are. It has the capacity to, like a cup overflowing with water, to push us faster. But that would mean feeding it more people than it would regularly need. And as the only person that I'm going to tell this about, is that something that you're okay with if you want us to get to Yingchuan faster?
I don't know. It would depend on. There's not a person on this ship that I would. Do that to.
No. But there's a lot of crew here that you don't know, that you might not have spoken to, that you more than likely won't miss. But I've cursed you with the knowledge of that is what happens.
We would be grinding living people up for my personal, selfish desire to arrive at Yingchuan faster for your sake. And I would not feel good about that.
No. And I am of like mind that feeding souls to a ship is, on a base level, not good. But I have gotten used to it, which is, in and of itself, not a good thing. And it's only a problem because we fly a Class 1. Fortunately, we can upgrade when we get to Yingchuan, because I have a Class 2 waiting for us.
How fast is the ship right now?
Flying it. Well, that engine's new, so we're still flying at standard speed of about 40 k's, close to an hour.
But could be faster.
But it can be faster.
Any particularly bad bandits on the way or something?
No. This far south, in this area, it's essentially a straight line to Yingchuan. It's just whether or not we get there when we get there. If this is a concerning note to you, Finch, you don't have to answer now. We still have a bit of time.
Does it care what souls? Like, could we give it a bunch of fish?
Unfortunately, we are the only things on this ship that are alive. And the ship only could... when the artisans crafted these, the early stages, they viewed it that the ships are masterful works of a Kojin imagination. And the only thing that has the sort of thing to contain imagination isn't the mind, but it's the soul that powers it. And so those... only people.
Do you reckon that the demon would eat my Gok Tengri skin?
I don't know what that means.
What a question.
Well, I'm also just amusing out of game. Don't the gems have pieces of Goktangri's fucking soul in it? That would be a fucking nitrous boost for that fucking demon.
True.
Eating an eighth of a god.
All right. That sounds very dangerous.
It does sound very dangerous, but I was laughing about it as I was thinking about it because on so many levels it's a terrible idea. I'm giving the essence of a god to a fucking demon that powers the ship we are on. And also I would essentially be betraying Kishoten and Alvino, who wish for their father's resurrection, and I would be betraying my old self who wished for Goktengri's resurrection. I'd be betraying literally every essence of what makes Finch his current self, and also be essentially monolithing up the demon in the. I'd turn him into a demi demon prince, fucking immediately. It
It's
would be
also the
just
fact you did kind of sass the shit out of it as well.
Yeah, he probably would not. I mean, I didn't sass the shit out of it. Every second sass, I decided to steer right instead of go into it. But every second one, I did sass him a little bit.
There is the concern that if you were to eat that sort of soul, you would either one lose your heart, you'd lose your skin, or you'd lose your eyes.
Yeah, the heart. If I lost the heart, I would probably just drop dead. I would probably just drop dead.
I guess the only other thing would be that you wouldn't know, like how that sort of works, and also if you could stop it once it started.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. I was just looking through my inventory and I'm like, man, does the magical artisan tools have a soul in it? Does anything I got have a soul in it? But I'm also probably going to say just one soul is not going to make a massive difference.
Look, Finch, it's getting late, later than it normally usually is. Just, you don't have to. But I will leave that as your decision.
Right. Well, I will
Sleep.
probably still be. I'll still think about it.
We got time. I think at the rate we're going, we could get to Yingchan within 3 days.
Well, that's not terrible.
He says that, and you know, without knowing, that the future has just shifted. You feel a twinge in your eyes, and it is not a good feeling.
By the way, when I was examining you, just to let you know, well, I'm sure you've felt it. You are weakened, but it is more than that. You are. It's like your body is beckoning death. You are not just weak, you're vulnerable. So, whenever you feel like taking a risk, ask us.
Got ya.
We'll do it.
Don't stub my toe. I could just call over and die.
Yes, exactly. Don't stub your toe. It may shatter every leg that you have, which is 2 of them. And hopefully it stays that way. You don't grow 2 more.
Evans, no. I'll keep that in mind, and I thank you for your concern.
Rest well.
He nods, and as he turns, you see that his wife is sort of standing out there in the hall waiting for him, and they walk away.
I'll head back to the room.
Yeah, you get there, and everyone else is there. Sia's just getting into bed. Wessel and Ezekiel are fast asleep. Evander, having seen Sia come in, is now sort of standing close to her, but like over the top of her in a way. just
Mm.
watching.
I'm gonna walk over to Evander.
He notices your approach. He just gives you a look.
Are you able to disembark this ship safely? Not asking you to do that. I'm asking if you were to do that, would that be possible for you?
He reaches into Seer's gear, grabs out the sort of charcoal and parchment or whatever, and goes, like hopping off.
Yes.
I'm sure I could survive the fall.
And then after you survive the fall, could you get back on?
I can't fly.
A shame. A shame. How did you get on?
Teleported by Arclight.
Could you teleport back on by Arclight?
Only if he was there.
Hmm. Well, we can get to him. The music box will let us enter the domain that he's in.
Who has the box?
I think Sia does.
She has no box.
Her? What the fuck? I don't think I have it.
I thought Wessel had it.
Oh, does Wessel have it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have it. I have notes about the music box, but I don't have it written in my equipment, so I don't think I have it. Theoretically, how fast are you? How fast can you run?
Fast? Question mark.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty quick too. How do you feel about a plan where we hop off, go find sort of 20 or 50 dudes to kill, and then hop back on?
Need Seer's permission to kill.
Ah. Well, we wouldn't be killing them, or at least not before we got back on, anyway.
I'm assuming Sia's right there anyway.
Yeah, you haven't fallen asleep. You're just in bed, like, what the fuck conversation is happening?
Why do you need to kill people?
Well, no, I don't need to kill anyone. Like I said, that was more so I meant beating them up. We need to beat up 20 people and bring them on board.
My question remains the same. Why?
Yeah, to help the captain. He's sick. I know that still doesn't explain anything. I'm just trying to think of options. I'm even wondering if we could use. I mean, I haven't wanted to try to use the music box because I feel in a way that it is a courtesy given to us by Alvina and Kashotan, so I never really wanted to abuse it. But I'm wondering if we can use the music box to enter their domain and then maybe exit again at Yingchuan. Evander, the way that Arclight teleports you, would he be able to teleport us?
Only in person.
But if we found him, he would be able to zip us over to Yingchuan.
Only if you can get to the state.
Get to the state. Like a ghost?
It's a nation. Eastern side of continent.
The eastern side.
after all of this, you still haven't explained why.
I moved on. I moved right on. Okay. Alright, I will think about it some more. But thank you for answering the queries, Vander. I am going to go to bed. And sleep. In the bed.
Vander just puts the utensils back inside C's bag and just sort of like backs into into the darkness. You just see his eyes.
Alright. I will go to sleep.
Alright. I'd imagine, unfortunately, with no answers for Sia, she would also just fall asleep.
Yeah, I guess.
And yeah, perfectly sleep. You guys sort of wake up, sort of naturally, what feels like a long rest. The room is empty of fellow ship crew members, and it shoots you guys to the sound of the sound of something slithering on the ground, which turns out just to be a Vander in snake form just moving about the room.
Well, they don't have any plans at the moment.
Ezekiel's just gonna try and occupy himself for what appears to be the day. Pray to the Queen of Cats. He goes and apologizes to the captain for his remarks about last night, hoping there's no sort of ill feelings. But it's a friendly enough exchange, and it goes well.
So you just go get breakfast.
Yes. It will be a thoughtful breakfast.
Okay, what is going on?
Thinking.
Wessel, are you joining them for breakfast?
Oh my god.
Fucking mic was flipped up. Yeah, I will be.
Nice. Okay. Easy enough for you guys to get to the sort of mess hall. You guys are alone there. It looks like everyone has already like eaten and left. You can tell that the captain has been here because there's a table with like 4 bowls stacked high that are sort of empty. But right now you guys are alone, unattended.
We've been left without parents.
To our own devices. What the hell is that?
I will grab
I was thinking,
bowl of
who do
food.
we not like on board this ship? And then I was like, oh damn! Imagine if we fed Anastasia the fucking demon.
I think we would die if we did that.
Uh, I think I'd run faster than the ship. Then I just get the fuck off.
Breakfast Wessel, by the way, is a pot of sort of a marinated stew of beef, or at least beef-like, with a mixture of roasted vegetables.
Delicious. I'm gonna eat the fuck out of that.
Ezekiel turns up and going, so, do we know how long we have left? I wanted to question the captain over it, but I felt that I'd rather just get what I wanted to say done and out of the way. As far as I'm aware, if we're still, it's still soon, but I'd much prefer to know how soon is soon.
Well, no harm in asking, I guess.
Well, in that case, it will have to be one of you three. I've already spoken to the captain today, and I don't want to overstep my bounds. And I refuse to talk to Anastasia.
I guess Sia will go and ask.
Well, while you do that, Sia, I think I'll enjoy some of this stuff that Wessel is eating and have a big lunch. Or breakfast, sorry.
Big breakfast.
Breakfast. Alright. So I guess Sia's leaving. Who are you going to go talk to, Sia?
The captain. I ain't
Alright.
talking to anyone else here.
You look around the ship, you find the captain on the deck. He's sort of at the bow, tying knots, and every now and then he stops tying knots just to have a gaze. Anastasia's at the bow itself, at her little outdoor table and chair, drinking away. Captain notices you approaching. He goes, "Ah, Sia, wanted to say, excellent service last night."
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Well, it's definitely eye-opening. That's for sure.
I was a bit nervous, if I must be honest, to be able to show people what that revenge looks like and then try to swap it back, but I guess it worked out.
Yes, I'm glad that it did. Some new believers to a little convent.
Right. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Do you have an estimate of how soon we could get there at all?
I'd say we have 2 more days.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for that.
No, it's no worries at all. And look, I just wanted to, and he sort of like quiets his voice a little bit, and he goes, "Look, if Anastasia was giving you some weird vibes during the sermon, I just want you to know that there's no ill will. All right?
Thank you.
No worries."
Right, well, I'll leave you to it, and Sia's gonna walk away.
Then he goes back to tying knots.
Well, when she gets back, she's got to tell everyone we have about 2 days.
Yeah, I think the captain gave me a similar timeline last night.
Ezekiel goes, "Well, if he already gave you a timeline last night, why didn't you say anything earlier? Instead of making Sia go talk to him."
I'm lost in thought right now.
Well,
Sia just happened to come back at a time where my thoughts were starting to bubble back down.
was it in regards to anything you might have found while you weren't at the mass last night?
Well, I found a lot of stuff, but none of it is very useful to fixing the conditions. I spoke to the demon
Right.
last night. I opened the door.
That sounds like a very dangerous thing to do, Finch.
Well, that was fine. Although I can say that about 2/3 of everything it said was lies or stretched truths.
Well, they're demons, Finch. They lie all the time. That's their MO.
Yes. But the truth lies in not what they say, but what they're not saying.
And what did it not say?
I'm still trying to work that out.
Oh, fair enough.
I did say not much of use was discovered. But the captain's condition is worse than it looks. And I am afraid that once we land at Yingchuan, we will have mere hours to provide him with the remedy he requires. It was a massive mistake to have both boxes tampered with.
Well, how were we supposed to know? As far as we were aware of,
Oh, that's why I said mistake.
everyone was getting the funny juice. Sia got drunk or spiked or.
And I agreed, but that is why it is a mistake and not a, wow, you were terrible for doing that. I cannot believe I let you do that. It is a mistake. Something that has happened, that in hindsight, has affected us greatly. It's like when you drink milk on a hot day.
Look, I don't want to be cruel about this, but we'll still get to Yingchuan. And does it matter so much if the captain does die?
We have a, and I'm sure you don't know this, Ezekiel, but we have an outstanding repertoire with the captain, and I think should he disappear, who else on this ship do we really know? I would like to keep this crew, not necessarily the ship itself, but the crew around, as we, like I say, our first step is Yingchuan. After that, it depends on what happens in Yingchuan, but it won't be in Yingchuan. And having one of these flying ships will be greatly ease the rest of our travels, especially with people looking for us.
All right then.
I mean, I am being cold with my reasoning, but I guess if wouldn't his wife be really sad, doesn't do it for you, then that's why.
Well, what?
You know,
Look, if his wife's sad, then his wife's sad. But his wife is also a bad person.
his wife is suspect. However,
She's not even afraid.
really, all we
for
have to
God's
go off
sakes.
is bad vibes. That's all we have so far.
Bad vibes and the fact that she drugged Sia. That's a crime, in my book.
Yes, that is a crime. That is a bad thing to do. But maybe something else happened. I'm not sure.
Sia, could you enlighten us to anything that may have else happened?
I don't know what you're looking for me to say. I already told you what I saw.
So what do we do?
So
Well,
if we do help the captain, how?
we don't know how. Well, I don't know how to help the captain. I had a look at his condition. It seems pretty unfixable by uh, our I mean, I feel like the only way to fix him would be to temporarily kill him, pull out his heart, use some sort of true resurrection spell on the remaining corpse, and hope that it grows him a new heart. The problem is the heart. Even ripping it out of his corpse seems like it would be an issue. Uh, because it seems to be protected by glyphs inside of his body. Something like that. I'm not sure. But there is some sort of warding around his heart.
Is there not also the problem that none of us would know true resurrection?
Well, that's what I mean. It's beyond our um, like that would be just off the top of my head how you would do it, and we wouldn't even be able to accomplish step 2.
Well, what about there? Surely someone in Yingchuan would know or an access.
Maybe. It might also be too late. Dying might also do something to him. He has a heart that's killing him and is protected. Kind of sounds like when he dies, something's gonna come out, like an egg. But that's not the concern. The concern is his life and preserving it. Also, isn't it nice to have someone who's straight up and honest with us and is not trying to get some shit out of us? I know maybe you haven't been here with us the longest here, and I mean I guess sort of you also, Wessel. But goddamn, I'm tired of people just goddamn two-facing us. I've not heard an honest word since I've stepped into bloody Chengdu.
You would be right. The captain is by far the most honest man that in Arcosis. Doesn't really help the Arcosian people's public image. That's for
Oh,
sure.
let's not make it racist.
Look, I've got
I'm
no
just
problem
saying.
with helping the captain. I just don't understand how we would even be able to.
Well, they're all sort of Hail Mary options. I mean, the demon said that it would be able to cure him if I freed him, but he also did sort of slip that he can summon his father, which sounds terrible. Uh, uh, he actually said that he would summon his father if we released him, and that his father would help, before sort of changing the angle once I said I was desperate, and he said that, oh, actually, I can look at the contract and look for a loophole. So with that story shift, I don't think that's going to be a 1 in a billion shot that's even remotely true. Uh, and that's if it's even true. It's a 1 in a trillion if he even acts on it. After that, it's merely just rolling the dice that we somehow happen to get there fast enough to buy a couple of hours. And then after that, what I'm going to do as soon as I finish my potatoes, God damn it, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray that the captain makes it to Yingchuan early enough that we are able to find replacements for this herb that he needs. And there is a third option. The ship can be sped up. We can make it faster.
Well, why haven't we done so?
Because it requires us to kill people.
Oh,
Yeah, so I do regret throwing some of those bodies overboard, honestly. Although I don't know at what point of being dead the ship needs to go faster. I don't know if they need to be alive and then get sort of up, or if they need to be dead sort of within, like
The confines of the
2
ship.
minutes. Huh?
Like, as in, they have to be killed at this demon? Or...
Or well, like that would be the first thing I said, and then the second thing would be like I don't know if it's like they can be dead for 2 minutes, and their soul's sort of still in there, like trying to like get out, uh, and or they can sort of be sucked back in. I don't know.
As far as
Uh,
my teachings go, once you die, the souls are pretty much just... Unless they have some unfinished business that they strongly cling to, souls are either grabbed or taken, or they go off to where they're, supposed to go.
yeah, but a quick little revivify is like that's like a little bit. Maybe it's revivify rules.
I wonder if maybe my graveyard could help.
Your what?
Uh, he's. Oh no, he's not. He can't do that shit. I don't think. The where we fight, and I have a little portal that I go through here and there. I can sometimes summon spirits and souls and stuff. I wonder if some of that might help.
Well, unless you've fought someone recently, Wessel, I doubt you have a soul on you in your back pocket.
No, when I rest for say about 8 hours, I can gather some. But I don't think I'd have enough.
I'm not sure how much makes the ship go far. And any time is more time.
Look, the thought of an angry Anastasia is one that is not pleasing to me, and I very much doubt, if she knew that there was a chance that we could save her husband and we didn't do it, I think she might come after us. And I think
I'd like
she's...
to see her try.
Yes, indeed, Sia. I would like to see her try, but I am also concerned that she is stronger than she lets on. Because as far as I can see, the staff and the regular workers are regular people. The captain for sure has some sort of skill and ability, but she is strange to me. And that concerns me. If she is who she is, and she is like her mother, then she surely has a... Whiskers knows what.
I did sort of toss their room a little bit last night.
Well, does it look tossed when you left?
No.
Well, then I'm sure it'll be fine.
But I didn't find a whole lot about Anastasia herself. There was a lot about sort of the ship and its activities and things like that, but
Any of it
there was
useful?
also a... Unfortunately not. Um, Although I did not try to look for private things, I was in there looking for something that I could use to help the captain. Anything that looked sort of more personal, I sort of tried my best to gauge that and avoid it. I wonder if the captain is aware of the hidden wall that's sort of by their bed that has a huge locked golden chest inside. Um, I didn't look through it. I didn't even try to pickpocket it. A picklock, sorry. Uh, but you know, for her, that sort of seemed more like a her thing than him.
Yes, the captain very much gives off I have a chest. It is golden. There it is.
Yes. The hidden wall didn't seem sort of his style. It also did not. It also seemed very strange that it would be in the ship in the first place. Yes, it very much gave the impression that it was sort of a last-minute addition than part of the actual design of the ship. But I don't know much about ships. That was just the vibe I was getting. So, I mean, hey, if we're all, ick on Anastasia, then, hey, that chest might be sort of, give it a go.
Wessel, you think you could get inside it?
I could give it my best shot.
I would say the chest is probably protected by more than that lock. I didn't even step foot in the room.
Oh,
I was afraid of some kind of...
Booby trap?
Yes, even if the booby trap was merely it makes a noise, anything would have been bad. So I didn't even step foot in that room. But it is small. I didn't need to. It is a small, small hidden room. But it does have that big, big, fat, golden chest. I am gonna go and pray.
I will also pray. Surely the Queen of Cats will help in this situation.
If
I
you
didn't
can have her
expect you to
help.
be a religious type.
What, him or me?
You, Finch.
I mean, I'm not really, but praying is that's like, just talking to your God, right? I met Kashotan. She knows me. It's kind of like I'm calling her, sort of, Not really seeing it as like worship or anything. And I did promise Alvina that I would help spread their words. So, I've got to practice what I preach, Um, got to practice what I preach. And I care a little bit about Kashotan, and how she sort of turns out, and she sort of seems like she's in trouble. So maybe if I'm her, hey, I've got like half her dad in me, right? What if I'm Uncle Finch for Kashotan? I'm a mortal Uncle Finch. Wouldn't that be nice? She sees me as an uncle, and I'm like, gosh, I have the most out of pocket advice. If you need some out of pocket advice, Kashotan, that'll be me.
Well, good luck, I guess.
I'm hoping that I'll get some luck, not Kashotan. But I am gonna go pray
Yes, unless you
to
turn into that
Kashotan.
weird uncle at the parties, eh, Finch?
Oh Jesus. I'm gonna leave.
I will also make a spot and go through some mantras. It's been quite some time since I've done that.
Maybe you can find out what happened to the old mate Mammoth. They got him. They got his ass.
Who?
The didn't they the captain told us that they killed the mammoth animal god.
No? Not that I recall.
Huh? Which one's dead? One of them's dead.
Why does it sometimes feel like Finch just rambles about nothing?
I'm sure they killed one of the animal gods. I'm sure the Queen of Cats will fill you in.
I dream so. Alright.
And I think I'll probably head back to the room and talk to Kishoten. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I can find out what happened to the old mate Mammoth. You know, they got him. They got his ass. Huh?
Well,
But I am leaving early, I guess.
Alright. Ezekiel's gonna quickly flush down his bowl and he's gonna go find himself a room to mantra and prayer in.
Well-
Wessel and Sia, what are you guys wanting to do?
I probably would have gone looking around to investigate said chest area. Not actually fuck around with it yet.
The chest is in the captain's room.
Hmm.
And supposedly within that room, a hidden zone.
You want to look out?
We'll head there. I'll think about it on the way. I might be able to come up with some bullshit excuse, but I don't know.
Uh,
But yeah, I'll have a look out. Yeah.
all right.
Alright then. And away we go. Finch, when you can you roll a religion check for me while you pray? Your little prayer. And then while...
Yes.
Yes! Excellent choice.
Yes, I can. A religious check. And you know what? I'll be doing a little bit of, is it like gaslighting? I don't think it's negging. But you know, like my tenets, my wisdom of the Koshotan faith, of the scales. You know, Alvina, was it Alvina who said that Koshotan will be, when she recovers, the goddess of forgiveness? And then when we get here, we're hearing about her being the goddess of revenge. And I will...
Which is very much what Sia does not want.
Yes, I don't want that either. So I was, you know, my prayer will be sort of be along the lines of, on the two ends of the spectrum, you know, there is forgiveness, complete and total, letting go of all grudges and sort of, old hatreds, and revenge where you indulge in those things and enact a sort of just desserts through your own hand or your own actions. And then in the very middle is redemption, the halfway point, where it is a revenge possible, but at the end of that journey becomes forgiveness through your own experience, and that the captain needs redemption, where his old actions have burdened him for years, and now the captain is a whole new person, and this person from his past is afflicting him with old wounds, and it is time for this punishment to be lifted. If not, at the very least, the punishment should be lowered and his burdens lightened even ever so slightly.
Alright, roll your religion check, brother.
Ah, no!
Oh no.
Fuck. 8.
8. Throwing this prayer or spiel, where you feel like it sort of reaches the climactic finale of like answer me if you can, please, and then involuntarily you see nothing, as if your eyes have just been kicked in, as if a light appears from the nothing. You see stepping out of the shadow Kashotan. She looks down at you, Finch. And as she does, from a sack appearing from nowhere, she throws it, landing on the ground. Spilling out its components is the heads of various members of the ship.
Whoops.
She looks down at you, Finch, and she goes, "This is the path that must be taken. I forgive you, Finch, for what you must do." And then you're in the room again.
Okay. I look around.
You look around, there's no bag. No severed heads on the ground.
Sounds like I need to try again later. And I guess my day's kind of free up until lunch. So I will, I guess, just hang out in the room, just thinking, just trying to think of any other route that can be taken. Oh, and only obviously because I am sure with my eyes that the captain will very likely not survive. I think I wouldn't be as worried if I hadn't have seen that vision. I wouldn't be fretting so much. But yeah, just to, I guess, refocus the context onto why Finch is sort of fussing about this so much. Because it's like, if they can't change anything until they get to Yingchuan, then the captain will definitely die.
Alright.
So that's what he's working on.
Wessel and Sia, as you make your way towards the captain's room, you are not so much stopped, but some members from last night's procession, the ones that have become true believers, sort of congregate and follow you as you make your way through the ship, sort of slowing you down, and also the occurrence of extra eyes upon you.
Well, good luck, Wessel. Then Sia's gonna try and stop and talk to them.
All good. That should be alright.
Alright. We'll do Sia first, and then we'll do Wessel.
All good.
They, one of them, a hobgoblin who looks very young, goes, "I know not really what to do, Herald, in regards to, like, what do I need to do now? Do we just continue to pray and work? Is that adequate enough for the gods?"
There isn't so much anything you must do, other than ensure that you follow the tenets and show forgiveness and hope and help others where it's when it's needed.
To give us purpose beyond what we normally have. I see it. Thank you, Harold.
I'm glad I could be of help.
You know, in a way, it's as if what we've been doing over these years, working on this ship and the jobs that we're doing, has become stale and monotonous. Our hands once were idle, and now through them, seer, you will speak. And they walk away.
I had a character that always reminds me of the Dragonborn DLC for Skyrim.
That's crazy. Wessel, you get to the captain's door. There's no one really around, but you find that the door is not locked.
Oh, shit. I knock.
You knock and the door swings open slightly.
I will carefully and slowly open the door, but I'm also gonna try and like peek through the little gap that's forming for an unlikely, but would rather check tripwire.
Yeah. There appears to be no trap along the door as you slowly open it, but upon sort of the room now being more clearer to see, you see sort of standing there in the middle of the room is a elvish looking figure, very much like Anastasia.
What the-
Sort of facing the bed, back towards the door. Tall, probably like 7.5, 8 feet. Wearing sort of nothing but like short pants, like no shirt, sort of like shredded, like big muscles along the back and arms. But it doesn't look like he's noticed your presence yet.
So just writing shit down. So he's just standing there, looking at the door, eh?
His back is towards the door. He's standing sort of
Oh.
over the bed. It looks like he's got his hands are moving as if like there's you hear the sounds of like items and things being shoved into a bag.
I would like to just roll stealth, and hide in a wee spot in the room and observe.
Yeah.
And
Roll away for me.
I'll kind of close the door to the point. Oh no! Oh no! that's a 12 all up. I rolled a 2.
Alright.
Not a good first roll.
To the best of your ability, you slink to the right of the room, and as you do so, this Fey-like figure, now that you're moving across to his sides, you sort of, and then getting a better look, though he looks Fey-like, you can very much see that sort of, unlike Anastasia, where it looks very like elvish skinned, this figure is Fey-like, but the skin now more closely resembles scales, one that might be of a dragonkin in nature.
Fucking sorcerer.
And then, luckily enough, as you're moving to the right of the room, slinking down and sort of like doing your best to sort of find staying within his blind spot, he moves left as you move right, and allows you to see the components on the bed, of various amounts of parchments, both tied and scrolled and sort of otherwise. Before he sort of looks back, but you've already sort of slunk into the side of the bed that sort of keeps you out of view. You hear the last sounds of like items being pushed into a bag, before eventually you hear the door being opened, and then you hear the door click closed.
Shit. Don't know what that was about.
Uh,
Uh,
looking up, you see that he has indeed gone, and the items on the bed are gone as well.
oh, fuck. I imagine this is like a typical kind of captain's quarters. It's got a bed in it. It's got like a desk and shit as well.
Yes.
I would like to inspect the desk first for I I feel like a diary would be a pretty good thing to look for.
Roll for me just an investigation check, please.
Greatest. Oh, that's way better. Rolled a 19.
All right.
Plus 1, so 20. Dirty 20.
Nice. You don't find any sort of personal diary of the captain's. What you do find is a bunch of paperwork along on the desks in regards to sort of the workings of the ship. You find basic information in regards to the like inventory management, ship crew manifestation, who's on board, how much they're owed. But you do like notice that the desk isn't sort of properly kept. It looks like the desk has been sifted and sorted through. Noticing that in a book or two, pages have been ripped out.
Yeah, that's what the guy must have been after.
You see on the bookshelf to the left of it, a lot of the books have been thrown, like grabbed from the shelf and just sort of like chucked on the floor. It looks like you can piece together this guy was looking for something. Whether or not he was successful, he found a bunch of stuff and information that could have been helpful.
I should have done a sleight of hand. Well then,
The sort of thing that then sort of creaks your eye is a parchment that looks a lot newer than the rest of it. Basically stating that, sister, if you come to Yingchuan, I will arrest you.
ooh,
Signed, Kamrana. It's not sealed
where?
or marked with anything, so it appears to be a sort of more personal note than one that is sort of an official nature.
And where were we heading again?
Yingchuan.
I want to take this note and hide it.
On you or in the room?
On me.
No worries.
And I might hide it later on.
Alright. Anything else you would like to do within the room?
I would like to check around briefly for any kind of like maybe trap,
Yep.
or some shit, and then I'll go to the main event and have a look at this chest. Obviously, checking for that for some kind of trap first as well.
Right. You don't know where the chest is, only that the chest is hidden.
Oh shit!
Unfortunately, with that, even with that 20 investigation, you were not able to find sort of where that hidden zone is.
Fuck. Need Finch in here.
Finch got very lucky.
I rolled. What was it? I rolled like a 32 or some shit.
Yeah, you rolled high.
I
Holy
pumped those
shit.
fucking numbers.
Yeah, no, fuck it. I'll leave it there and go find Finch, I guess.
No worries. You exit the room. closing it behind you. No one in the hallway sees you leave.
Okay.
Sia. Ezekiel comes up, goes to find you, meets up with you, and he goes, I have spoken with my queen, so to speak, and she very much believes that we're on the correct course.
The correct course to resurrect Cocktango.
That I do not know, only that we are on a course and it is correct.
I'm glad that works for you.
It does indeed. I was a little bit lost, but she has lent me her wisdom.
So you'll be staying with us then?
I will, until I am called elsewhere.
I'm glad to hear it. Guess at this point it would be best just to wait for Wessel to get back.
I'm sure he's having a wonderful time. But I am hungry, so I'm going to leave you and find something to eat.
Have fun.
And he walks way back towards the mess hall. A little bit goes by, and Wessel sort of comes back up your way, Sia.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find it. I don't know if it's been moved or Finch just has really good fucking eyes.
Maybe we might have to get him in there again to find it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should catch up with the others.
Yeah, we should.
Doesn't take you guys long to find Finch.
Yeah, I'm only in the room.
Finch, I couldn't find it. The chest.
Oh, right. I forgot to tell you how to open the secret room.
There's a fucking
I don't know
secret
why.
room. You sent me in there without telling me there's a secret fucking room.
I said it was a hidden room. It's one of the books on the bookshelf. I remember which one?
Yes.
Because it was a special one.
Yes.
I'll just describe the book.
Wessel, he describes a book that was on the floor when you went in.
Yeah, about that. That was on the floor when I went in, and furthermore, there was some really ripped elf guy in there, and he was stealing a bunch of shit. So yeah.
Okay.
A
Uh, d-
ripped elf guy.
did he seem like he was sneaking around? Like he...
He seemed like he was in a hurry, eh?
He did indeed seem like
Yeah.
he was in a hurry.
He seemed like he was more in a hurry, really, like just trying to get in, yoink a heap of shit and run.
is he still there?
He might be on the ship somewhere, but no, I just watched him, like packing away all this shit and just let him go. I don't think he knew I was there.
There aren't many elves on this ship, are there?
There are no elves on the ship besides, elven-looking Anastasia. All the crew members are Arcosian.
I'm gonna do a dash and zip out of the room and fucking see if I can catch him. I'm gonna start with the deck and go down.
All right. Roll for me a perception check.
Perception. Oh, where's my? Come here. Little fucking thing. Ah, that did not help me. My perception is. Oh, and I have a shrewd counter to burn here.
All right, burn it away.
That's a little better. I'm not having too much luck on this D12. Put that to 2. With perception, that is going to be 13, 21. I think that is.
All right, 21. You duck out of the room. A stranger on the ship, in the captain's room, in a hurry, rings off alarm bells. But it doesn't take you long to find something immediately out of place. That stops you in your tracks as it moves past you on the floor. And it's a mouse. Making its way up the steps onto the deck of the ship. There has never been an animal on this ship.
Yeah, I'm fucking. And Evander's a snake.
Evander is a snake.
So I'm fucking. Come here, you little mouse.
Uh,
Well, I'm not battle crying before I fucking. I'm gonna try. I'm running around and I see it like.
The mouse is very much in a fast hurry, and it is close to getting to the deck of the ship. I'm going to need you to
I've got 2 dashes. Can a mouse beat 2 dashes?
I will need you to make an attack, though.
Okay. An attack. I always roll better on a hard surface, but I don't have one. My rogue dice are conditional.
This isn't about you catching it, because you definitely, like, getting to it, you definitely can in a short amount of time. It's you grabbing it is the issue.
Let me get my fucking Hungry Jack's cup. Fucking. Fuck. That didn't fucking help at all. No. That's gonna be a what am I attacking with?
Essentially just like your hands. To
My
grab it.
hands. So is this strength
It can be strength or dexterity.
or dexterity?
Or
Okay.
dexterity.
Well, that's gonna be 10.
10.
That beats a mouse, right?
You chase after this the mouse, and it is so unnaturally agile, ducking, dodging out of your grasps, chasing it up onto the deck of the ship, where you see some crew members just going about maintaining the ship. Anastasia and the captain at the bow drinking some of their tea, as the mouse jumps onto the sort of ledge of the ship itself, and just before you can grab it, what you feel like might be out of your grasp, it flies, and you watch it fall before it turns into a bird and whoosh.
I'm darting the motherfucker.
All right, I'll allow you 2 dart attacks.
2 dart attacks. Okay, let's go dart around. Come on, notebook. Notebook of Kushotan gave me a not natural 20, but a 19. So that is going to be a. I'm thinking of Thane. I do not have my bonuses written here, just on the cuff. So with a dart, that's 25 to hit.
That hits.
Excellent
dart
shit.
hits into this hawk, and it does so. You see that because you would have already seen. Because does it count as an illusion? I don't think it does. I don't think True Sight works for this, but I will double check later on. As the form cuts out of being a hawk, returns into the figure that Wessel mentioned, as he sort of like sort of turns and falls back, like free fall style, a giant smirk on his face, but a bag with parchment in it. Before he then turns back around and then changes into another bird, and then just deep dives out of range.
What a bitch. I'm so tempted to down the. I still have this fucking Iron Skin potion from back when we were trying to leave that other town. Fucking all the way back in like
Oh,
session
yeah.
4. I still have that potion. I'm so tempted to just and then just fucking jump off the ship. Fucking go after this cunt. Fuck. Ugh. I should have been rolling on the fucking my Quran, dude. I should have been rolling on my Quran. I rolled a 19 right off the cuff. Fuck. My fucking mouse pad curses me. I don't roll over a 10 on the mouse pad.
You hear the captain cry out, "Finch, is there a problem?"
We had a stowaway. I spotted him too late. He's leapt off the ship. I heard him, but... Oh, actually, let me mark that I've lost another dart. I had 5. I now have 3. I was able to hit him, but I don't think it did... I don't think it did much.
Did you see what he looked like?
Oh yeah, what did he look like? Now that I have seen him, hair color, was he jacked? All that sort of shit.
So he appeared 7.5 feet tall, muscular built.
Oh my god, Halson?
Hair of silver that went down to like half his waist. But the skin, though pale white, was scaled.
Hmm.
And the face was an amorphized look between that of... kind of reminded you of Anastasia.
Right.
And also tinges of Dragonborn.
Yeah. Well, it was an elf. He had scales. I saw him just as I hit him with the dart. He turned into an elf with silver hair, scales, and he kind of had your features, Anastasia, a little bit. His face kind of reminded me of
Her
yours.
face turns to stone. She gets up and then sprints down the deck.
Oh no. I want to do a better job to help these people, man. Fuck. Dude, Charlie's Alistar would be banging off so hard right here. The one time we did not trust them, it has fucked them for good. The one time we did not trust them. Charlie's Alistar would never have been for this. We would never have done this if Charlie's Alistar was in this party. Fuck. God damn it. That seems bad. Is there a problem? I'm talking to the captain.
Well, that sounds like a very unique guy, and I know of only one that has that sort of physical makeup. It definitely isn't good news. The only question is, when did he get on the ship?
Have I seen that rat running around? No, I haven't seen that rat running around.
Did not.
It can't have been. It must have been recent. I feel like our own stowaway may have seen him. He might know, but I've noticed no mouse before, and my eyes are sharp.
That's the thing. He's not always a mice. He can be any animal he wants.
I've noticed no animal.
So it is new. But this definitely spells concern of when we get to Yin Chuan.
He had a parchment on his belt. Maybe once Anastasia has a look, she'll have more to say. But he made off with a parchment.
He made off with more than just like a bag. And
Oh, a bag.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bag of parchments.
Well, yeah, sorry, a bag of parchments, my bad. Because you said
Yeah.
parchment, and then I thought you were only talking about one, but no, there was a bag, and there was one at least visible.
All right. Well, then I retract that. It was a bag of stuff, but there was a parchment sticking out. And I'm also biased for the parchment because when I was looking through their room, I do remember seeing quite a lot of that sort of shit. And, one of those might be quite important. I can only hope that maybe he made off with nothing too important.
Well, maybe. Hey, maybe he left us a message.
We just, it's unfortunate timing.
That's the way it goes.
I'm not bringing up that message, by the way.
Hey, that's fine. You don't need to.
Well, I will head back to the quarters for a few hours, and then I'll come see if your wife knows what's going on.
No worries. We got time. And then he sort of nonchalantly goes back to munching on a snack that he's got.
What a beast! Fuck. Yeah, I'll head back down.
Head back down. You see Sia and Wessel there. As he who goes, did you get him?
No, he flew off the deck before I was able to. I did hit him with a dart, so I did see his face as he turned back into an elf. Oh, yes, he was a rat. I was chasing him around the ship, and then he got up to the deck and jumped off and turned into a hawk, and then I hit him right and square in the back with a dart, and he transformed back.
So he's some sort of druid, maybe.
Well, I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if there's anyone else who can turn into animals. But I don't want to say druid without really knowing if that is the case. He was covered in dragon scales.
So he's what, half dragonborn?
I don't know. Could be something going on with him. He had long silver hair. Stole a bunch of stuff. Anastasia seemed quite upset and, dare I say, afraid when I mentioned what he looked like, and then rushed off to, I assume, inspect her room, find out what's missing. And I did have a chat with the captain a few days ago and Anastasia the day after that. I'm going to say whatever was taken is not good for her, probably for us as well.
Wessel, did you find anything in the room that were of any importance?
Is this Ezekiel talking to me?
Yes.
And are we alone in a room?
Used to or the group?
Just the group of us.
Yeah, you're essentially alone.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll pull out the note. I was thinking we might use this being misplaced to our advantage. But any other ideas?
Well, she's wanted for something. That adds further, to what I was saying before. She's a bad person. This is more than just vibes, Finch. Wanted for arrest?
Where wanted? You powerbombed a guy in the street.
Well, what did you want me to do at the time, Finch? She was annoying us.
I'm just saying a wanted poster really only says something about whoever has the wanted out on them. Like if the Eight Kingdoms had a wanted poster out, I would say that they're all right in my books. The Zaibatsu doesn't like them, and I don't like them. You know what I mean? It's all about perspective. Where's the wanted poster from? Like, where do you? What are you supposed to do? What does the poster say? The note, sorry.
What, the one that Wessel has?
Yes. Like, exactly.
Wessel, what does it say?
It says, "Sister, if you come to Yunchuan, I will arrest you." I don't think I got the name properly, but Cabrana.
Do we know anyone named Kamrana?
Murata. No. I don't think so. But if it's sister, I'll assume that has something to do with the warlord. Not that I think the sister is the warlord. I believe that's her mother. If I worked that out the other day.
Yes. Her mother is the warlord, and now queen of the Kagami.
So I'm assuming they're talking about
One of her siblings?
yes. But I think as long as we're able to get an audience with the Queen, should be able to work that out, depending on what she has to say. Just not a quiet day can go by on this damn ship. I am going to speak to her later. Try and figure out if anything important was lost and what that does to our journey and hers.
You then all feel the ship rattle and shake as a high-pitched scream rings out throughout the ship, and then you feel the ship slow and then stop.
I'd say she figured it out.
I'm pocketing that note again.
Ezekiel goes, that is not good news. Whatever it is. If we've stopped, it only leads further length to our time.
Is there any way to tell what direction that scream came from?
From the back end of the ship? Probably. And the only important rooms that are on that side of the ship is the storage hold and the captain's quarters.
Not necessarily the demon.
No. The screen was very female.
Right.
How about as the one that she likes the most? I'll go. I mean, I don't think she hates Ezekiel particularly, but also he's not exactly the best for PR, you know.
Well, no, I did say some things to her at the end of Sia's session, and the captain got very angry with me, and I think,
Oh.
you know, I might have mentioned that Sia was very Fae-like in nature, and you know, that was a good thing, because I know that Anastasia is not a Fae, and it turns out that that's a very sore spot that I was not, you know, formally aware of, and the captain didn't like that.
Okay.
I mean, Wessel could go. She has hardly talked to Wessel.
That's true. And if I get vaporized, you'll at least be fast enough to dodge the second one, and you can get back here and warn everyone.
I'd also like to ask Evander to keep an eye on them hidden, but just keep an eye on them as well.
He just nods.
Oh, that reminds me. Evander, have you noticed anyone boarding the ship since you got on board?
He goes, there was a mouse came in last night while you slept.
All right. We know he came on last night. I will walk on down to their quarters. I'm assuming that's where it came from.
Are you heading with him, Wessel?
Yeah, may as well.
Alright. You make your way down there. The ship, you feel it jolt a little bit and start to move, but it is not at the sort of pace that it was before. Very slow. Feels like a walking pace that it could be. Turning
Now the plan to disembark and run ahead of the ship to grab the ship sounds a little bit better.
you turn into the direction of the room, and you see that the door has been blown open, and then bits and pieces are on the ground. And you hear the sound of just like shuffling and just like furniture being sort of picked up and thrown.
I'm just gonna very politely like sort of knock on the door, or on the little frame next to the door.
And coming up to the frame and knocking on it, looking inside, you see Anastasia, but her hair is frilled and up and wavering around. She has this sort of like dark white aura that sort of like emanates off her that you can physically see, not just true sight, but like it is physically there. Her aggression, her just rage is just emanating from her. She looks almost Banshee-like, as this sort of
Right.
like a quick snap of like turns to the direction of the noise. She goes, "What?"
I also want to make sure that I'm not looking directly at her. Only not because of to protect myself or anything like that, but more so just I feel like she is currently venting, and I don't want my direct eye contact to
Trigger the
maybe
attention of
embarrass
that
is the
person.
wrong word, but like yeah, like I don't want it to be like just trigger additional responses or anything like that. I just want to be like I didn't see nothing. I'm just
Yeah, you
here
don't want a chair
for
coming
whatever
your
reason.
way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just like it's probably a little bit embarrassing, so I don't want to sort of see it. But I'll just sort of just be sort of looking sort of off to the left or something and look at her in my peripheral and just be like, I would leave you time to cool down, but there are time sensitive things happening right now, and I just want to know very quickly what was taken and who that person was.
You see that she just exhales. The aura sort of like dissipates. Her hair falls down perfectly straight like it always is, and she just sort of just he took some pieces of parchment that was of damning evidence, And as you're sort of like just looking around, trying not to make eye contact, you see where the chest, the compartment where the chest would be, the sort of it's been ripped out, and you can see that the chest has already been broken into.
Right. Okay. I don't need to know the evidence specifically. All I need to know is, will this affect the ship's ability to arrive at Yingchuan?
She goes, unfortunately, thanks to my outburst, I've drained the ship's sort of energy. And so the ship will need to be powered to go any faster. And we need to get to Yingchuan today.
Okay. Will it affect your activities at Yingchuan? What was taken?
If we get there before him, probably not. My husband has told me that you, Finch, are familiar with what happens or what needs to happen. And that he has made it very clear that I cannot interfere. But I now tell you that if you want to save my husband, not just from himself, but from others, we need to get there today. All you need
What
to
would
do
be required?
is say yes, and everything else will be out of your hands. You will only have the knowledge that follows.
What would be the cost?
The cost will be pretty high. It takes 1 to restart it. It will take 10 to get us there.
I think we can get you 1 for free. 10?
None of the 10 that will be chosen will be that of Sia's collection.
Then do it.
Alright. She stands up straight and just walks past you out.
I'll head up to the deck.
Wessel, you hear this conversation, and you see the Anastasia just brisk walk out and down the hall.
Oh dear.
A little bit time later, the captain finds you all, and he goes, at least if the group is either together or individually, he'll find you either way. And he goes, look, the ship's going to be moving at a very quick pace. She hasn't done so in quite a while, so I'm going to need you guys to collect your belongings, make your way towards the top of the deck, where we will strap you down. Is that okay?
I suppose so.
It's just a safety precaution, so that way the speeds at which we will going, you don't sort of stumble and crack your head on the wall or the floor. There are no apothecaries on the ship, and that's an issue.
There's no other options. Sure.
I can promise you that, for the most part, no harm will befall you. Captain's oath. And you are my employers, so it would behoove me to ruin a good business venture.
I forgot about that deal. Out of character, I'm not actually saying that, but yeah.
Alright. Meet up at the top of the deck within like 10 minutes with all your belongings. Alright?
See you then.
Ezekiel goes, well, if he... Is it just going to be us four? Or what about the rest of the staff?
I can't even say anything. Like, not can't as in sworn to secrecy, to like can't as in I dare not even say a lie out loud.
Well, I'm sure they've done it before.
As he's just talking to himself now. He did answer his own question.
Yeah.
He's turned into a fucking Firelink Shrine NPC, dude.
That's a singular. Come to me. You get his daily quotes, and then that's it. Oh, Queen of Cats today. Make sure you pray.
Finch, I cannot believe you gave my name to those fucking cultists. I'll throttle you.
But if you guys would like to collect your belongings and make your way up to the deck,
Already on the deck, mate. I went up there to think. Not to think, just to not be inside in any way while what's happening is
keeping
happening.
the information that you know to yourself, I guess.
Well, it's even the case of like, you know, when you're when you're on the farm and you know your favorite sheep is about to get put down, you know, you don't want to be in that field when you loved that sheep. You want to be somewhere else. You don't even want to be in the proximity of what's happening. That's kind of how it is. Like if I'm inside, I am present for what is happening. If I'm outside, that's as ignorant as I can make myself and not be a part of the story in any way.
All right.
Or as little as I can be. You know, like 10 people were killed and also Finch was there, you know. Like it's like trying to strike that last bit from the sentence as best I can.
No worries. Ezekiel grabs his belongings, heads up to the deck. Evander notices that you're collecting your gear, Sia, and he goes, what's going on?
We're getting ready to go very fast, so to hopefully get to town a lot quicker. I'm going to suggest that as a snake, he will be on me, but hidden in a way that when I'm tied up, he can free me in an emergency.
Alright, it's going to be hard to hide him because he is a large and long snake.
Right. I suppose they know he's there. There's no reason to hide him at the moment.
The captain is aware that he is there.
Then yeah, so he'll just be with me as a snake. So he can be around me as his brace.
Yep.
And then he'll be prepared to release myself and the others in an emergency.
No worries. He'll wait till he'll stay in humanoid form until you're tied up. Essentially, as everyone is making their way towards the deck, Raijin and Fusion are up at the deck, sort of getting the ropes and the knots all tied down. You see at various intervals along the sort of the wall of the edge of the ship on the stills, they're tying knots really tight, and they come up to you, Harold, as everyone's sort of around the mast, and they go, Harold, exciting news. This is the first time that we're going to, well, the captain says that we'll be flying as fast as we are going. At least for us, it will be. And that's
Well, make sure you
once.
keep yourself safe.
Yes, of course, we are aware of the proceedings of what needs to be done by us, at least, because even though we'll be going so fast, the ship still needs to be maintained. The arteries of the ship still need to be cleaned.
Okay.
And they tie everybody up to the main sort of thick mast, and they tie you up pretty tight. Where you feel like if they did it any tighter, it would stop the ability to breathe. The only person that's not really tied up is Evander, who is sort of like curled like around the mast, but like close to you, Sia.
Alright.
They leave, and just a little bit after, the captain comes up and he goes, "Look, it's been a while, so just in case none of you survive, are there any final words?"
Nope.
No. Good. Because
Wes is just speechless.
I don't know anybody that might know you guys. Okay? So there would be no one for me to tell. And with that, he sort of like awkwardly like just nods his head, and then makes his way back down. Not long after, there's this calm. There's a slight breeze. It's very cool. The sun's probably halfway up the sky right now. And then you feel the ship jolt as it starts to move. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. Until you feel like you're at the pace of where it normally is. I need everyone to make perception checks, please.
Oh, natural 20. Literally natural 20.
Oh fuck! I was ready to say the same thing.
11.
This will more than likely be in regards to hearing, Matt, so you'll be rolling with advantage.
Okay. The first roll was a 22. Yeah, 22 was the highest.
Alright.
It was at 18 on the dice, so I saw the double digit and I was like, no way, another natural 20
Nice.
as well. But
And what did you get, Sia?
11.
11. And what was your total, Brennan?
Oh.
Yes.
With the natural 20, it's 28, I think. Yeah, 28, yeah.
Oh, nice.
holy fuck.
Ezekiel also rolled a natural 20. So that puts
Jeez.
him a little bit up. So unfortunately, she's the only non-high high hearer, which is probably for the best, as you three who did start to hear the crying wails of people being what could only be thought of as violently killed, coming from below deck. And as each renewed cry sort of kicks in, the speed of the ship increases until you are going.
I used my eyes.
Use your eyes.
Just to get me the fuck out of here.
All right.
I use my eyes. I think about Yaroichi present. What's he up to?
Yaroichi.
Yep. Yaroichi, the Chad X Black Sun Goblin. My only friend in this world before the captain and I met.
All right. And unfortunately, you don't see anything.
Ooh.
But you feel something. It's cold. It's damp. You feel claustrophobic.
Cold and damp.
Make a investigation check for me.
Yep. Oh, no, I don't do that anymore. Oh my god, the Kashotan Quran is really helping me out here. That's, I think, a dirty 20. Yeah, dirty 20.
You're just using the pieces that are given to you within this sort of vision. There is an unfortunateness to what you're able to piece together. It's dark and it's cold and it's claustrophobic and damp because it's dirt. Damp because it's been raining. Claustrophobic because you're underground. Cold because the body's dead.
Damn. I had a feeling, but it's good to know. I don't think many of the members of the Gilded Order are probably still alive.
The last thing you hear before the vision ends is the sound of shoveling dirt, getting closer.
Right.
The ship moves at such a speed. You feel like at any moment the masts and the tide to the masts and the rope connected to the gallows and the sort of balloons attached to the ship would snap and come off at any moment. You feel like it's hard. It's like sticking your head out of a moving car doing 100 k's. It's hard to breathe. The air is so quick, but you can see how the clouds, almost in a way, just sort of stop as you move through the sky. And it doesn't last long. For as long as it does last, where eventually the voices die out. The cries die, the ship slows, and the ship turns as a bit of wind catches one of the gallows, and it turns, and as it does so, it reveals a tall, large, densely populated looking city in the distance. The only sort of visual representation in regards to what it looks like is a 40k hive city, where the tallest is the center, and it sort of like flushes down. The great city of Yingchuan, and you have arrived. Before the sort of ship sort of jolts to a stop, Evander turns back into his humanoid form, cuts the ropes.
Jesus.
And then the ship starts to descend at a slow pace. You have arrived at Yingchuan, and at the cost that, as of right now, Finch only knows of 10 souls. The only silver lining is that none of them are the ones that have been swayed to join Sia's religion. After a little bit, the captain comes up on deck and he goes, "How was the journey?"
Quick?
"Yeah, good.
Wendy.
Windy, I could only imagine. Unfortunately, when the ship needs to go at such speeds, I'm down deck piloting it."
Well, as glad as I am to have arrived, I would like to try and help you with your condition immediately.
Yeah.
If there is help, obviously, if we would just get in the way, I'll step aside. But if there's a way that I'm able to help or that we can help, I would very much like to do that right away.
No, it's fine. We have a little bit of time though, as we're slowly sort of making our way down. We're heading towards the sort of port section of the city. It's a port section, no ships except for sort of ours and at least a couple of others that are specially designated for reacquired vessels. So once we get down there, suss out cargo and all that, and all the paperwork that goes with it. You know, I mean, not saying that that's when you'll be free to go. You guys can leave as soon as we're good. You know, but that's where we'll be, at least in the beginning, before I acquire that other vessel. If you need a place to stay, there is a place that we used to go to. Whether it's still there or not, I'm not sure. But you want to go to the Thousand Claws Inn.
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know.
Nope. That sounds like old Arcosian to me. I swear to God, we've stayed. There were 2 inns somewhere. One was something Claw Inn, and the other one was Thousand something Inn. I swear, wasn't there like the Inn of the Thousand Shadows or some shit?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Well, do you know who you get these remedies from, or is that something your wife more so handles?
She handles that. I do all the paperwork. She takes care of me. But if we need a hand, or she needs a hand, I'll make sure to find it if she does. I will ask you for it. Straight away.
Right. And as a favor, when you disembark, would you be able to do that with us? Not when we leave, whenever we're leaving now, but whenever you need to leave. At least before you're made sort of whole again. You know, remember, stubbed toe, 2 broken legs sort of deal, you know.
As in, when we leave the city, or...
When you move from this ship to the other one.
Sure. Yeah. I'll have to disembark anyway to go to the office.
Avoid alleyways.
No, I will attempt to do so.
Excellent. Although, if it's within my power, I will be there.
No worries. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know, but you guys will also know when we land, because you'll hear the thud of us hitting rock.
Would we be in trouble if we just jumped off and just went in?
Not really, as far as I'm aware of. Unless times have changed. It's been a couple of years since we've been here. So...
Well, if we're able to sort of jump all the way off and go get them right now, so that by the time you landed, we were sort of stepping back on with what you needed, that would be pretty ideal, right?
Fish. We got here quick. We got time.
I don't say this out loud, but he has no idea how badly I needed to hear that. I am fucking relieved, and sort of my brain sort of back down. So I'm like, all right. When you know when and where we can help, I will be in the crew quarters.
All right. And with that, he gives everybody a nod and makes his way back down below deck.
I go down below deck, and then the shadow of the sort of underneath just. I'll hang out on deck for a fucking few more minutes. I'll hang out on deck. I'll just sort of fucking look around, like, oh, the city. Oh, that bit looks nice. Yeah.
And as it's descending, you can see the city is huge. You guys thought Tianjin was large, and it was the largest city in Narcosa at the time. But Yingchuan almost triples the size.
Mm.
As the only sort of capital on this third of Arcosis, it would make sense that the city would be this size. From what you guys have been told in regards to what happened in the sort of territory to the west, of everyone having to flee there, the population had to go somewhere. And if they couldn't go north, they had to go here.
So yeah, even on the map, it's just literally by far the biggest city. By far. Damn. Fucking LA, the Ward of Bayan Olgi doing pretty good. Pretty good.
There you do see in the distance small specks of other airships, either coming or going towards the city. Looking down and over, you see like the large port zone that's been constructed, pillars and towers connected to sort of booths, and that that there is 2 other ships already there, sort of off to the side. One of them looks to be of the same make that this ship is, but the other one looks much larger, much like fresher. The colors on it look brighter, looks new. If you would hazard to guess, Finch, that might be the ship that the captain will be moving to.
And hopefully the end of this fucking demon engine.
There are smokestacks all around as you descend, and sort of the vastness of the city sort of shrinks to the more what the city actually is made up of and looks like. It is definitely backwards in regards to what Tianjin and Chengdu were. It doesn't have that sort of, at least in this area, doesn't have that sort of city-like architecture. The roads are wide. The houses are rounded from small to large, but it looks to be just a huge collection of joined villages. But the closer to the center that you can see, the more city it becomes. It doesn't look like new or old Arcosia. It looks like older Arcosia.
Mm. Classic Arcosia.
You eventually hear and sort of feel coming to the ground the sort of like the thud of the ship connecting with ground again. All the sort of staff that were remaining come upstairs, throw off the climbing rope that you guys originally gotten onto to get on, with all of their gear, and the crew looks very small compared to what it was, and they sort of disembark. Ryujin and Fusion come up to you, Sia, and they go, "Captain says we have a couple of days before we acquaint ourselves with the new vessel. Is there anything you would like us to do within those couple of days?"
Do as you would normally, and pass on the word when you're feeling safe to do so. Considering where we are, just be wary of what you do.
I'm sure that with Alvina's guidance, we have not much to be concerned about.
Right. Well, with that, she'll say goodbye and go back to the others. What's the next step from here?
Ezekiel goes, well, I imagine we get off, find... what are we doing here exactly, Finch? We're finding this... what did that skull say? Does anybody remember? Something about...
The skull?
Yes.
I think.
Yes, the skull had the message of... vessel, if you see this, come south.
I still have that skull, by the way.
What skull? Did I get punched in the head? I don't remember no fucking skull. What
I'm
skull?
gonna be real. Fucking, I'm listening to this with my eyes closed, and I'm doing that weird drifting back and forth through a nap thing, and I, I kind of had that dream of a mention of a skull before it was brought up. So there was most definitely a skull in there somewhere.
When we got back from the labyrinth, we found a skull, and then when it came to us, the eyes lit up, and then there was the voice that came out of it of a lady who's looking for Finch to go south when he hears the message. Or we assume was
Yes.
Finch.
Whoa, I kind of remember the message. I don't remember a skull. I was about to say, can you show me Beck before I remembered that it does not physically exist for you to show me. Bloody hell. That's how immersed I am, man. Fuck. Okay. I will, well, yes, I assume that it meant for us to come here. It makes complete sense. But it is up to us to know what to do here. So I really want to speak to the Queen. Listen, I might be going off of nothing, but I feel like she has a lot of answers that are relevant to us. Very relevant. And after that, I'm not sure. We can potentially head west. I know you're not much of a fan, Ezekiel, of the cat people. What's their name? This gave me the Rakshasa.
I
But
thought we were going to go visit Danzak after this.
we are. We still are. But it's what our journey looks like back up. We are essentially turning around and going back the other way. Now, are we going up
that's
the
if
eastern
Danzak's is
side
still alive.
or up the western side? Do you want me to find out?
Can you? Oh, of course you can, but is it safe to do so?
It might hurt, but I did panic and try to send my mind somewhere else during the trip, so I won't have the resistance. But
I mean, if we know if he's alive, then we can make that trip. But if he's not alive, then I guess we don't go that way.
I have a greater sort of mastery over the vision. It won't cost me as much as it might have in the past to use it. But I think even if Danzok is not alive and he's not up in that little pocket, I think a kingdom started by Danzok is still the safer place to be after blinking out of existence for 24 years and then blinking back in.
Did you use the eyes on them?
I have not.
I was gonna say, I feel like that might have been a bit of. Oh, I guess it's good to know that old mate's dead. I suppose.
It was just what I was thinking of. It's just Yaroichi. because we've heard about Darnzok and we've heard of about a bunch of other people. Like I've already seen Oza, but it's Yaroichi was the one person who was like, I know the guild is fucked, but what has happened to the people in the guild that I know? And Yaroichi, I guess, either buried alive to death or buried alive and basically almost dead. Uh, which is unfortunate because he was sort of a, despite being a gilded member, he was sort of a real one, honestly. Uh, but it will all depend on this visit to the Queen. I, I honestly will be disappointed if I visit the Queen and not much comes out of it, because I don't know. I have a, call it a hunch that she has more to tell me than maybe I sort of know.
Well, I imagine
I
she would know quite a lot. Hopefully, if she's seeking you out specifically, thanks to this skull, um, you know, she would have answers. And at the very least, she was a warlord. Her husband was a previous warlord, so that's 2 extra gems, nigh on, close by.
I don't think I'm going to be meeting the Khan.
Oh, probably
It
not.
would be nice, but from what I've heard, I probably will not be able to get an audience with him unless I make a good impression on the Queen, I guess. But
We don't.
no, I
Do we need a good impression for the Khan though? We just need his gem. If we can convince the Queen to hand us over the 2 gems, that's 2 more in the barrel.
a gem that we know where it is not too big of a deal if I can't get the gem. And I am okay with not getting it. I'm not here to snatch their warlord gems from them. Uh, although it might be easier considering that the warlord gems probably don't mean as much today as they did when we were around, where it was literally a
As
sign of your
a
status
status,
and power.
yeah, a power symbol.
But like, what does that mean? The eight crowns have all of their own warlord gems. That can't be right.
No, I mean, if anything, they've got 8 crowns.
Exactly. And I maybe the who was the other kingdom?
Eternal Sun.
The Eternal Sun. They were pretty big on the warlord, the emperors, right? They might have a few, but I can't imagine that it means quite the same thing.
Well, didn't you say you had a vision of Oza, and he spoke to a guide that said that Oza had some gems?
Yes, he has. I can't remember how much, if he said how many he did or didn't have, but that he had some, and he was very interested in finishing that collection.
How many
If
gems?
there's 2 here and 3
Other,
here,
yeah.
then that leaves what 3?
What was it? Seven warlords, 7 gems. So 2.
Well, it depends on what the eyes were. Are the eyes 1 gem or 2 gems?
Were the eyes warlord?
Because
I don't remember the eyes being a warlord gem at all, to be honest.
oh yeah, well was it a hidden one? I can't remember those. The Rakshasa really could have told me what was going on with that thing.
Well, you can't trust them for starters.
And I want to say that talking to some gilded members, they were sort of coy about the potential of an 8th gem, and that the 8th gem was kept secret so that they always had that leverage whenever it came to resurrecting Goktengri. Remember, the eyes were unattended. no warlord attached to them, but still similar in a way to the other gems.
So
Not the same color at all, but
minimum 2, maximum 3 warlord gems unaccounted for.
yes. Which probably means that Oza has minimum the rest, or maximum the rest, and minimum is only missing one because they did say gem with a plural. So there's either one missing, or the only gem that is not currently in Yingchuan are on Oza's person.
I doubt he'd give that up with a handshake
Well, that's
and a
what I
hello.
mean. That's what I mean. The prospect of taking the gems from Yingchuan's royal happy couple it doesn't seem quite as important as bashing them out of Oza's hands.
I mean, Oza knows us. We know Oza. Surely, for old friends, it would be a welcome.
I would really like to show you how he spoke about us. I can't, but I think if, especially you, Ezekiel, if you saw the way he spoke of us and thought of us, and his face changed as our names were spoken in his presence, I think you would be the first person to want to shore up some healthy suspicion.
Bro stream.
Uh, I think I think a plan that hinges on Oza trusting us, or in any way wanting to speak to our very alive bodies, probably not a plan worth looking into, I'd say. Oza very much looking for us, and in that kind of way that the cat looks for the mouse.
That is an analogy I understand. All right.
Yeah, true. It's not so much a look for as it is a hunt for. And he has hunters.
Right. So, right
he
now,
doesn't. He doesn't know about Sia and I.
no, he does not.
I can't remember.
No,
I can't
Well,
remember.
I've never fucking met him,
no.
so
We picked you up, Wessel, in Tianjin because we had, quote unquote, left Oza in the town before. So he has never seen you, and certainly no one has seen Sia.
Yeah, if we're gonna be truthful about things, no one's seen me for over 200 years. Somewhat.
guess you could say no one has seen her. Oh, that was
Oh,
shit. That was shit.
that's rough.
It sounded good in my head, but
I, that's a good one, Wessel. I appreciate it.
You entered the labyrinth after us. You're from 200 years ago.
Yes. That's one thing I've realized now. When Anastasia drugged me and showed me the truth of my memories, I also came to the realization that, and just out of character and double checking, that was before the War in Heaven, right?
No, it was after the War in Heaven.
So it would have been just after?
No, it's been a couple of thousand years after. So
Okay.
the sort of only reference of time that you could give them is that the Yellow Lotus were walking around.
There you go.
Damn, and they were missing for like almost 200 years, yeah. Damn. Was it like for them specifically, it was like 170 years they were missing. The literal entire Yellow Lotus was missing.
Yes.
Um, so, at the very least, before they went missing. Um,
Someone like that.
right. I have questions, but I am struggling to fire a single one that I feel like you would know the answer for.
My question would be, do you feel how you physically see her? Like
Is
that,
the air different?
like sure we have been only forwarded 24 years, but like, do you physically feel like time isn't just quickly catching up to you?
Well, no, I seem to be okay at the moment.
All right. Well, that gives us
As
good news for us then.
as for the air, it's more or less maybe not as clean as it used to be.
It's definitely not as clean as it used to be,
Hmm.
especially within the city. It doesn't smell nice.
Yeah.
Um. Right. Uh. So you said you were not from Arcosis?
No, I wasn't. I was in Narcosa when I found myself in the labyrinth, but not originally.
Right.
Well, that's good news then. No one knows who Sia is. Sia can talk to Oza.
Oh, right. That's what we were talking about. Yes. Well, I just can't remember if I think maybe I wasn't thinking about it clearly enough. I think the person who was hunting us mentioned that we are with a group, and I think I may have assumed he meant the four of us, but I think maybe he was talking about the crew we were with, and maybe he doesn't know that I travel with two new companions. And he knows that Darnzok is no longer with us, because Darnzok is up north.
Is he up north? Do you want to check? Look, if he's dead, I'd rather you tell us than us go talk to a queen and then she go, "Oh, he's been dead for so many years."
I can check. I just want to finish the conversation.
Well, I'm not rushing you. I'm just saying, like, that's on the
This
agenda.
is the third time you have asked. So we would have to think of how we could use that.
What was that guy's name? You said Yukta whatever?
Yukta Shiga. That's. I have. The name itself is a frustrating puzzle. I thought that was my name, and then I thought that was some other dude's name, and now I think that is the changeling's name. I am not sure. Uh, it could be anything, honestly. The name Yuktashiga, honestly, has been pulled off of the corkboard and discarded. It is a name. It is so mired in web that it's not even worth uh, returning to as a clue or a hint to anything. Um,
I remember you making mention that he knows that something about he knows where we are and that he would come and get us. Surely, with us reaching our destination so much faster, we now have time.
we don't know how he's going to get here. Remember
That's
the
true.
guild
That's true.
had those circles everywhere that let them bounce between places.
But was
He
he?
may already be here waiting for us.
That's not a good thought.
No, it's not. And he is protected somehow.
Who's protecting him?
I don't know. Honestly, the vision I had of Oza is probably the only reason I was able to see as much of him as whenever I use the eyes or the I think I've only tried once, maybe twice, to look at where he is right now. There's something stopping me from seeing it. And I think the fact that I specifically happened to focus on Oza as he was meeting with him is the only reason I was able to see him in the present day at all.
Well, I
So I
guess you
couldn't
got
even
lucky.
use my eyes to see if he was in the city right now or not.
What, Wessel? What do you think we should do?
Uh, I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Look, I don't know this. As a guy, obviously, I was gonna say, if he definitely doesn't know about Sia and I, we could kind of go have a look and make sure what like I in short spy. But that might be fucking risky. Uh, and this Danzok guy, yeah, if it's no issue, like he sounds like a better dude. Who just need to make sure.
I feel there may be an attempt on the captain's life, or that he may be in danger, not from the condition anymore, but there he may incidentally be in trouble. But I do not feel like me and Ezekiel can, be too close. If if he is wandering around, I would ask that Wessel and Sia, that you both could make sure that he's okay. He is an ally, a very good ally, but on top of that, he is,
He is essentially our only way to leave Yin Chuan at a fast pace.
well, not what I was going to say, but that too.
Besides the fact that he has essentially been the only truthful person that we've come across, who has been straightforward with us whenever we've asked.
And for that, he is worthy of protection.
I agree.
He is worthy of at least a little loyalty spent back. Uh, and the visit, I am on edge, but the I think a night in a real bed would be very nice. What's the time, by the way?
You coming at it's probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. Sun's going down. It's getting dark.
Right. Yes. Well, a night in a real bed instead of a hammock would be quite nice. And in the morning, I will need to, and I'm only saying I, just so that you don't feel obligated to join me if you have something you would rather be doing. But I will need to look into an audience with the Queen as soon as I possibly can.
I think when it comes to the Queen, we should all go.
Yes, I do, but I was more so going to, in the morning, inquire as to how that was going to happen.
Well, didn't Anastasia tell us? Should we? They know the captain said that through Anastasia we'd be able to get an audience.
I will confer, or confirm with her that I don't know if what happened today has changed that situation. That is possible, but that's essentially a plan that she makes for us. In the meantime, I want to plan
For
for
ourselves.
yes. Ideally, we don't need to use it. But if she's unable to help, then tomorrow I will ask around as to how I might be able to visit her.
I don't see why not. I'd rather stick together in a place that is essentially so foreign. It's definitely not the city that I used to be. Did my training in. It no longer looks the same.
Oh, that's right. This is where you took your oaths?
No, this is where I was did my schooling, and when I originally joined up in a clan, I was taught at the War College here.
Maybe after 24 years you still know someone here. That could be worth looking into.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Anything at this point
Is better than nothing.
is Exactly. Especially because essentially our paths are severed and we have started as though we were born a week ago,
Indeed.
and thus truly have nothing.
But Sia, what about you? What are you going to do? You've got not but to. Are you going to leave the spreading of your faith to your two new priests, or?
I think I might start to see if I can find some people willing to listen. But when we're ready to go actually do some work on this, I would like to go with you.
Wessel, what about you?
What what am I gonna do?
Yes, well, it seems that I say tomorrow. It seems that I'd rather much after the ordeal today find a proper bed to sleep in, and the 1,000 whatever it was in seems like a good place that might have a bed that will be good to sleep in. So starting tomorrow, me and Finch are going to search for a way to speak with the Queen. Seems that Sia is going to commingle with crowds to sway some minds. What would you like to be doing?
I'll come with for the bed stuff, but I'll try and keep a distance in case uh big man has eyes.
Make it seem like if he has spies who are already in the city, we're not connected.
Yeah.
Ingenious, Wesley. Oh, I just remembered. We're gonna have to find a consulate.
Oh yes, someone mentioned that before. That would be a good idea, I think.
I think it was that fisherman who said we needed to find a consulate to get the armbands to show that we're not to really be killed in the street.
Just a random
Yes.
fisherman, the most help we've ever had.
Yeah, he was actually a massive help.
What a fucking G.
But that could have been lies. Now that I think about it.
I mean,
Why?
we'll find out if we ever go to the consulate. They'll hello, what are you doing here?
I think people will be asking that us once we step off and they go, hey, you are not Arcosian. What are you doing in the port?
Well, maybe if we see non-Arcosians walking around, I'm sure there won't be too many. But if there are non-Arcosians walking around, we can spy for those bands.
Correct.
If they're all wearing that, then probably was true. If they're not wearing, some of them aren't wearing that, and they are not being killed in the street, maybe we ask 5 or 6 more questions at the consulate before taking an armband.
Sounds about right. You guys get a coughing. Turning around, you see the captain with Anastasia. He's got his bunch of bags packed, and she has some of her sacks together. And he goes, "Right, we're hopping off now. Remember, 1,000 cuts in. It's actually just outside the port, 2 streets down, in about that direction. Should still be there. Mention my name. Hopefully, it's still worth something, and you could be given rooms. It'll be placed on my tab, which will then be placed on your tab. So, in a way, it's rooms for free."
Well, thank you very much for the.
No worries. For all intents and purposes, over the next couple of days while I organise things, me and Anastasia will be in and around the port area. So if you need to find us, we'll be here.
Well, I guess we'll see you around.
Likewise. And him and Anastasia make their way to the side and start to climb down.
So do we just go now?
Yeah, I want to.
Are they like
Or do they
completely out
walk
of
on around?
earshot?
Are they completely alone?
Who? The captain and Anastasia.
Yeah.
If you look over the side, you see that not really. There's workers working on like structural beams and stuff. They're not so much alone. They're alone together, but there are people around, and it looks like looking out.
Or they didn't disembark.
They're about to.
Are they about to disembark alone?
Yeah.
Hmm.
What?
Listen, I saw a vision of this guy dead in an alleyway, man, and I'm still thinking about that. So I'm just like, hey, no alleyways, motherfucker. But you know what? If Anastasia said no, come on, we're just taking the shortcut. Bro, he's taking the shortcut. He loves his wife. This guy loves his wife. He's gonna take the shortcut. And then he's gonna be killed. And Anastasia will either puff away into dust or run away around the corner and be killed there because I did not see her in the vision.
So a better way to describe what this port area looks like, think of the Star Wars films and the sort of when they go to dock, it's in like the ships dock in sort of like this like ditch.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
so
yeah.
to speak. So
Yeah.
it's
These
basically
like
like
top
that.
hangers.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's basically like that. Except instead
Yeah.
of sci-fi architecture, it's a bunch of wooden structures and scaffolding and shit.
Okay,
Right.
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll get off, but I am just like constantly like, you know, like just fucking always looking over at the captain like, fuck, is he good? Is he fine? Is he good?
He's gonna lean in and like whisper to everyone else. So is anyone gonna miss this note if I don't know, throw it in a river?
Uh, ugh. Well, the
Or shall,
note is just a letter, right? It's just like, I'll arrest you.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know if she would actually listen to the warning, but from my understanding, from what I've seen, we don't really like her.
Well, I certainly don't.
well, I mean, where did you find it?
Uh, in the captain's quarters when Mr. Elfman was like trying to get away and stuff.
Oh, was it a note that he left?
Yeah, for Anastasia.
Oh, I did not know that.
So
What was the name on the note?
Uh, oh, my eyes. Kamrana. Is that right? Kamrana?
Yeah, Kamrana.
Okay, yeah.
Amrana?
Which you guys will probably remember as the name of the first son.
Oh, shit. I'm gonna put that in brackets.
The first son.
Yeah, being the first son of Anastasia's siblings.
Was what? So he was that guy who was at the Battle of Tianjin.
He was.
That guy who showed up.
Yes. He was the captain of the Warlords Honor Guard.
That will explain why she did not really seem particularly worried about. I did very specifically ask her if there were going to be problems upon her arrival in Yingchuan, and she sort of did not even seem to think I was talking about an arrest. She thought her instinct off of that sentence was that I was talking about whether we were going to arrive on time for our business. I definitely think she should be warned. If not, at the very least, because she's right next to the captain. What if that's how the vision comes to pass? She gets arrested and he tries to defend his wife because he loves her so much, and they kill him. Oh my goodness! No, I'm telling them, and I'm gonna fucking fucking go over to them and be like,
Wait.
excuse me.
Oh no.
The captain turns around and goes, "Ah, Finch, yes."
You don't have to leave the conversation, but I needed to really quickly tell something to your wife, to Anastasia.
Yes?
Uh, do you know Kemrana?
That would be my older brother, yes. I only know one person by that name.
Um, I now listen. I did know about this information earlier. I did not know the context of this information, so I did not think it pertinent to mention because I thought you already knew, and now I am starting to think you may not know. Um, there was a note on board,
He's throwing me under the bus.
and on this note said it said that if you were in Yingchuan, that you would be arrested.
Oh. Alright.
I thought this note was old. I did not think it was. Uh, I did not think that it was left during this morning's incident. But now that I am understanding that it is, I am now understanding why you did not seem very worried when I asked you if there were going to be problems arriving in Yingchuan for you and your husband.
No, that definitely recontextualizes that question for me. So there's going to be a problem with trying to get you an audience with my mother now. From my end.
Understandable. As long as you and your husband stay safe on this one, I am sure that we will be able to figure out a way around. Uh, all good.
Well, good thing we got here as early as we did. That gives us time to think. I can only hope we beat the hawk. And with that, she sort of turns back to her direction and walks off. Captain goes, "Hey, Finch. Thanks for letting us know."
Please be careful.
Hey, no alleys.
No alleys. You're damn right. No bloody alleys.
And he winks and then he walks after his wife.
All right. I'll head back over to everyone else. Um, yeah, they definitely did not know that. Well, it looks like we're going to need to find our own way to speak to the Queen. Um, I'm sure she would be interested in speaking with me if I could just get in front of her. I'm sure it would work itself out.
Well, what about if we found someone that worked within the palace, or we spoke to a guard? If she's expecting you, Finch, then surely she would have people out there. You just have to go, "Hi, I'm Finch. The Queen wants to see me," and the word will go reach the Queen. Some wacko calling himself a Finch wanting to speak to the Queen. She'll know who it is. How many people are out there named Finch? Probably none.
Well, any more probably, but there are I shit you not, there were 21 of us.
Well,
I'm probably the only one who stayed Finch. That's actually, now that I think about it, probably true. Probably the only one who stayed Finch, but there were a few of us.
yo, you had brothers.
Not really. More so the person who named us that. I didn't, after a while, they just go, "Oh, my name's Jonathan," you know. But, you know, I didn't have that bit. I had, "Oh, well, I don't know who I am, so I guess I'm still Finch."
Well, hopefully your father's still alive then.
I have no idea.
Well, there's somebody else you can check up on now. Add it to the list of people.
I'm sure even if Bushoji was not horrifically killed in whatever horrible shit was happening while we were gone, I'm sure that old age probably claimed him a few years ago at the very max.
Unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear
Bushoji
that.
was an old person.
Oh.
24 years is a long time.
I'd asked if Sia wanted to see anybody, but it's been over 200 years. But everyone Sia knew was probably dead,
Well,
That
unless you
about
knew a dwarf.
or an elf. I mean, there are races that live longer than a century, but Sia, did you specifically know anybody? That
There are ways. Monks live quite long. Was any of your friends a monk?
look. I wasn't in kosher for long enough to make friends.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe at some point we can stop in wherever you're from.
Yeah, a trip to the homeland would be nice. I do miss the touch of sand beneath my paws.
Oh my god, Cougar Sesh beach episode.
Not that sand, desert sand.
Oh, beach
Uh,
episode.
the beach episode, fucking hell. Well, that is plan one. Is to just tell people, but I'm in the very case that I sort of just get laughed at. I would like to know what I'm doing afterwards. But hey, let's head to this place that we're staying and get settled in.
Yes, the thousand somethings or other.
The thousand claws
Cuts? Did you
in.
say?
The thousand claw cuts in.
All right.
How many inns have the word thousand in it? Can't be too
Probably
many.
1,000.
Oh, damn.
I can say, as he sort of speaks, as you guys sort of climb down the rope ladder, he goes, there wasn't an inn by that name during my time here, so, more proof that things are changing.
Well, a night's rest will do well. I could do with a break.
I will say, if we do end up having to find our own way to speak to the Queen, I might put off and help with that instead tomorrow.
I would appreciate that.
Yes, I think it's imperative we get this queen business sorted first.
Yes, it will inform completely what we do next after Ying Chuan.
At least we can inform her of Yukta possibly coming after us, maybe even her.
Yes.
Well, sorry, we just had one of the dogs barking.
Sort of as you guys are talking and walking, notice that the sort of port staff that are around is more than just Arcosian folk. There are folk from other parts of the world, but for obvious purposes, they would have been hopefully born here already. None of them are wearing armbands. Coming upon sort of the main larger exit, there's like an office room that's got an open window. There's a old bugbear sort of at the window, and as you guys walk past, he goes, "Did you come in off that ship? Are you with Captain Rikoshi?"
Is our ship still within eyeshot?
So yeah, it's sort of like the first sort of parked in this parking zone.
Yeah, I'll just sort of point to him and be like, yes, that one.
Right. Well, you're going to need paperwork to say that you're visiting. And then he brings out some sort of paper identification. You just need to sign your names here. I'll sign it into my book to let him. It's just paperwork. Got to know
Ledger, yes.
who's coming in, who's going.
Sure. Will just one name do?
If you can, first, last, middle, uh, your name that you're given, the name that you use, just sort of some, if you're in a crowd, I can go, oi, so and so, and you go, I'm here, and I go, no worries, I tick you off.
All right. I think I can. I think I can do that criteria. Uh, I'll write down Finch.
Excellent. But I'm gonna need everyone to participate. You all come off the same ship.
Yeah, too easy. Do the same.
Ezekiel goes, and do we need anything else from any sort of armband one might need? A consulate someone must attend to? As he sort of vaguely writes, not Ezekiel in there. He goes, the Bobo goes, consulate? You diplomats?
No.
Then why would you want to go to the consulate for?
We've just traveled a long way and need to make sure there's anything further we need to do.
Yeah, we were told on the road that being visibly foreign in the Carganet might make it a good priority to
Mate, that is
wear an
old
armband.
news. The armband thing was disbanded 6 years ago.
Well, makes sense. The person we spoke to, I don't think was he was, I think, set up on the border of the Carganet. I don't think he was actually a resident.
Right. Yeah, look, that's just bad messaging now used as things against us. You can be from wherever you want and walk freely within the city. And no one needs to wear any armband of identification. That was just shit that the Khan brought in when, stricter measures had to be in place during the chaos. And then over time, his wife was like, no, we need to let people in, have a good time. That eventually got absconded. Like, fucking hell.
Oh,
It came about that the main reason we got rid of the armbands was because of the fucking mass elven exodus coming across the border.
an exodus.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got a fucking shitload of those cunts spread around, but they keep to themselves in their own little zone. At least the
Well,
foreign-born elves. Franfril, my best mate, he's up. Actually, he works at the consulate.
oh, well, that's a wonderful coincidence. Although, speaking of the Queen, uh, I actually do potentially have business with her while I'm here. Would there be a way that I could have sort of an official forum with her?
I would say that's going to be very hard. The Queen's been very silent for the last 4 years, ever since she's had the kid. So that might be rough. Easiest way to do that would be to go through the consulate, say it's a diplomatic thing, and maybe you'll have a word with one of the kids.
I'd hate to lie. Is there an sort of a proper channel to go through?
Uh, Look, the best as I can deal with that situation is go meet with my friend within the consulate, and he'll help you from there. If it is a serious thing that needs to be spoken to the Queen herself, it's not illegal to go see the Queen. It's just that requests can be denied.
Um, Understandable. I am also banking on my name being enough to stir a response, but just as long as it fell on her ears, not directly, but like as long as that name was sort of said, I'm sure
Well, then,
she would
yeah,
remember she needs to speak to me.
the consulate would, if it's a name thing, like I'm sure that, look, mate, I've never heard of the name Finch before, but if it is a big thing, then the consulate's the best place. That's where three of her kids are, and her children are her eyes and ears in the city. So if they know, their mother will know.
I'm. Is there a channel that does not involve her children?
None that
At your friend?
I mean, look, that's as much information as I can. If you see my friend within the consulate, he'll, my expertise goes to there, and then his expertise goes further.
Well, regardless, it was helpful information anyway. What was your friend's name again?
Feranthal.
Feranthal. All right. Well, I'll be sure to go visit him tomorrow.
Much. Thank you. Tell him I said hello.
What was your name then? Oh, I'll mention you by name also.
Oh, Okaran.
Ocarin.
Okarom.
Ocarom.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll tell
Why does it sound
Feranthal
familiar?
that Ocaram sent us this way.
Thank you. And he signs underneath where you guys signed your things as a form of like formal looking signature. Hands you guys your passports, and he goes, "Just make sure you got them on you at all times." Though the society has changed for the better, more open or stuff, the Khan is and his followers are still pig-headed, I would say. So just be out there. It's not all the centaurs, but at least the ones in law enforcement.
All right.
Right, got it.
Thank you for the heads up.
No worries. And he ducks his head out the window a bit. Fuck, it's getting dark. All right, you'll be my last message today. And he closes his window.
Excellent. On to the inn.
Was signing the papers and all that a canon event? Because I'd like to point out I did not say that I signed it.
If you didn't sign it, then you didn't sign it.
Okay, there we go.
Mission
accomplished.
He signed his. He signed it nonetheless. But you still have the passports on you.
Yes.
You guys sort of like leave the dock itself, coming into the street, and it's there's not much in the way of lighting. It's very sparse, a very stark contrast to even towns that you guys have been in before. This very much feels like old village shit. The lights that are there, they're spread out. And for the most part, all the buildings around are like singular story. But off in the distance, you see a building that's about 3 stories high, and could only be, probably the inn that you're looking for. Walking in that direction, it seems that people are just making their way home. Lots of workers. The majority of people you see are Arcosian, with the odd variety thrown in there. But the variety aren't wearing armbands either. So it seems that the stories you were told is just old.
Mm.
You guys make
All good.
towards the inn, and it is indeed the Thousand Cuts Inn. There's a sort of swinging sign with an emblem of a three-pronged claw on it. And it's got like notches all around the edge of it. But there's a sort of like bouncer-like figure sort of at the front of the entrance to it. a fucking large hobgoblin, and he goes, "Are you guys looking to enter the Thousand Cuts tonight? Are you guys looking for a place to stay?"
Place to stay, and I also think being inside while we're here would be nice.
I don't understand. Why would you not be inside while you stayed?
We're looking for a place to stay.
Well, this is an inn. Well, what else would you be doing here?
I don't know.
Right. Well, get the fuck in.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that cracked me up.
And he sort of just.
And I go inside.
Yeah. Inside, this looks like on the outside it's not too shabby. On the inside, it is very shabby. Oh wait, I might have got that wrong way. Is shabby a bad thing? Either way.
Shabby is like shit in a way, and saying
so-
not too shabby, not that bad, sort of thing.
So it's not that bad on the outside, but coming inside and sort of like fully looking around you, at least for it looks like it used to be run by the Rakshasa. The architecture of the inside, the sort of the furniture get up of the tables, the chairs, the stereotypical bar sort of at the back connected to a kitchen place. This was definitely run by a Rakshasa. There is tables full of people coming into like sort of dinner time. There are goblin staff making their way around, requesting people with drinks and food. There is a sort of like small live band playing in a corner that's been made shift to stand up. There's nobody sort of at the sort of bar, but there are no stools at the bar. It's just stand where food is being brought out from the kitchen behind. Goblins are taking it off and going to the sort of the benches. Behind the bar is a elvish fellow who looks very young, probably in his early hundreds. Sees you guys walk in and go, "Ah, newcomers, please come on in. Do you seek a room in the Thousand Cuts?"
Yes, we're here to stay for
Don't tell me
A
how
few
many
days.
nights. Because if you tell me how many nights, that's how many nights you'll stay, and I prefer if you stayed longer. Customer service is my guarantee.
it's a customer service is guaranteed.
Yes, I guarantee customer service.
Well, I would hope so. Like that it exists or that it's good.
That there is customer service, and I guarantee it. Now, are you looking for singular rooms? I have at least 2 rooms available that would fit a small family, if that's something you would like.
What do we someone told us to come here. I think we're on someone's tab.
The captain told you to come here, to mention his name, that you would be given rooms, and they would be put on his tab. Which
Yeah,
which
I'm
would
telling
then,
the guy.
which would then be put on your tab, which doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm telling that guy.
Ah, you're part of Captain Rikoshi's crew. Some of your other
Yes.
compatriots are here already. You look around and you see that there are indeed sort of further to the left members of the ship. Sia, you see Fujin already speaking to a bunch of people, and they look attentive in what he's saying. They are working fast. He goes, "Well, if you guys are together, I can happily give you one of the family rooms. It'll be on the 3rd floor, room number 6." And he goes, "Here's the key for it. Is there anything else I can help you with?"
Not right now.
It's pretty packed right now, but there is room sort of to eat properly up in your room. So, in the meantime, you guys go up there, acquaint yourselves, and we'll deliver the food to you.
Sounds good.
Right. Ezekiel goes, this is a lot better than the Rakshasa, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know about that.
The place could certainly do with a clean.
The Rakshasa were attentive to the detail.
And there's something that sort of just rubs me the wrong way about that slogan. The we guarantee customer service. Like no shit, it came free with your fucking having a service fucking business. It's just a strange way to phrase that.
Look, this inn will be better than the last non-Rakshasa inn we stayed at. Do you remember? Every
I do
key
remember. It
opened
was
every
pretty
lock.
cool. Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Well, see, I didn't mind that place too much, but then we couldn't stay there because you started a fight with every single person in the inn, and we had to flee
Well,
while I was delirious.
we weren't there for long, so that's okay.
Please don't do that here.
I promise you no fights while we're here. I'm already in great spirits, no Rakshasa.
The other place had no Rakshasa.
Yes, but it seems that this place has some sort of security. Finch?
Have we tested this key?
Well, let's go up and test the key on every door.
Let's test the key on every door, and in the meantime, I'll scan for any invisible robots standing in the corner of the room.
Invisible robots? What are you two on about?
That... Oh, yeah! I thought we ran into them after we met you, but I don't think we have.
We did. We ran at the Citadel. In the designated rooms were the invisible workers.
Right. The
Oh.
ghosts.
Oh, yes!
Oh, was that when you guys spent like a whole fucking hour just trying to get
We
shit
made
out of
a
an oven?
human-sized pizza shaped like a human.
That is the most nonsense shit I've ever heard happen in one of these
Yes.
campaigns.
The invisible... Well, because we just wanted to test what the fucking limit of the things were.
Yeah.
They could do anything, and it's like, okay, like, isn't that dangerous? And then we figured out you can talk to them from outside the room and that you could make them kill people. Like, it was like, okay, we're not staying here.
Sia, during Tianjin, we stayed at a place called the Drunken Huntsman. Inside the Drunken Huntsman had special rooms. In these rooms were invisible servants that allowed us to order whatever we could imagine from a kitchen that supplied things from portals that we could not reach.
Okay.
Which ended up being the same thing from the Citadel in the Labyrinth. The guest quarters we were staying in had the same thing. Which means that the idea for the servants was taken?
Sounds more like just an unseen servant sort of enchantment on it, as opposed to literal ghosts.
No, the unseen... See, that's the thing, Sia. In the Drunken Huntsman, the servants could be mentally commanded to take things and even attack people.
And they were almost invincible. We tried to kill one. It never fought back, but it was incredibly difficult to even wound whatever the hell it was. And then once it was wounded, it immediately regenerated. Whatever it was tough, it was invisible, it could make anything, and it could be mentally commanded from outside of your room to do whatever you wanted it to do. As long as you knew it was there, you could command it. And since every room has one, you know it's there every single time.
Right. Remind me never to put that in my own.
I commanded this thing to pickpocket from not good people. And the minute it tried, the people inside freaked out and absolutely killed it, and I think left.
Yes, that was the Blackened Sun members.
And then didn't I command it to take a dagger off you,
Yes, you did.
Ezekiel, or was that Danzak? It was you, all right. Yes. So if it can take a dagger, it can be commanded to use the dagger. So it was a terrible, terrible place that we did not spend any time in alone. Especially with people knowing that we were there.
Because
It was terrible.
originally we thought Finch could just, like, he could do it by himself, and then we sort of realized, well, if he can do it, anybody could do it. During this whole conversation, the key is checked on the doors. None of the doors work except for room 6. And then going inside, it's very basic. There are 6 beds. It's a large room. There's a small wooden table. There's 2 chairs. And that's about it. But the beds themselves, though they don't look good, extremely comfortable. Very soft.
Finally, a real fucking bed.
I kind of just want to go to sleep. I just want to lay down and go, oh, fuck.
That's
Whistle's
what
already asleep.
I'm going to do. He's gonna take his gear off. He's gonna do a quick prayer to the Queen of Cats, and he's gonna just sneak in the bed. And it's just you kind of sink in the bed. It kind of just like a soft foam mattress, but even softer.
God, those are the worst.
I think I used to have one of them. Got like a crater in it now. You just naturally roll into the middle of it.
But you're all locking the door behind you with the key. You essentially just make your way, every one of you, into the bed, and there is no knock to wake you up. You guys sleep through the night, and that's where we'll end today's session.
Excellent.